pharmacist working at Kandara Sub-County Hospital in Murang'a. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Rose Karuri. I'm the branch admin, Kmpdu Central.
Maybe when you're speaking, just try to be louder so that we hear you. DJ Ajafika, anakuja.
Okay, good morning. My name is Dr. Gatimo Alex. I'm a Kmpdu member based in KNH. I'm kind of a delegate from South Rift. This is my home place. Yeah.
Karibu sana.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Dr. Kuria Alex from Wangige Sub-County Hospital, Kmpdu County. I'm the hospital rep.
Morning, colleagues.
Good morning.
My name is Dr. Muguku
We
Eutychus.
can't hear you.
My name is Dr. Muguku Eutychus. I'm from Muriranjas. That's in Murang'a County. I'm the hospital rep there. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we can keep moving.
Hi, good morning. My name is Caroline Bide. I'm from Absa Bank. Thank you.
God is good, and all the time. My name is Gafio Njue. I'm from Absa Bank. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning again. My name is Beatrice Wamboi Ndongo. I'm from Old Micho.
Good morning. My name is Virginia Wamboi from Absa Bank.
Hi, I'm Ireri Daniel. I'm representing Absa Bank.
Hello, morning. My name is Dr. Mark Nganga. I'm an ophthalmologist from Kerugoya and Kmpdu.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Moniki. I am posted at Sagana Sub-County Hospital, Kirinyaga County. Tunakaribisha nyumbani. You know, I've never been able to say I'm a Kmpdu member. So the first time I'm saying I'm a Kmpdu.
And that's a win for sure. Karibu.
Good morning. My name is Alex Muraguri. I'm a hospital representative, Kerugoya County Referral Hospital. Karibuni sana Kirinyaga.
Asante.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Awanza Mutuku. I'm from Nyeri PGH, surgical resident, hospital rep. Yeah, glad to be here.
Karibu.
My name is Dr. Kanja Mirian. I work at Kenneth Matiba and Dental Hospital as a pharmacist. I'm first a member and then a representative of the hospital.
and I'm also a quota next mediator. I'm here with Elan Training.
Power.
When we come together, we build the union together. Ngugi is my name. I am the county liaison for Nyandarua County. I'm an orthopedic surgical resident, and I'm glad to see that Kirinyaga is in the house. We have really longed to see Kirinyaga back to the union, and we are really happy to see Kirinyaga back. I hope more members will come so that we are a full house, so that tujadiliane mambo ya central, and we build this union strong. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Wanjohi from Engineer County Hospital. I'm a member, and I'm the hospital rep from there.
Karibu, karibu.
Viva Kmpdu, viva. My name is Munge, DU number 06908, representing Kirwara in Murang'a.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Charles Masharia from Igegania Level 4 Hospital in Kmpdu County. I am a member, and I am also representing the hospital.
Karibu. There are people who are hearing some hospitals today for the first time. If I was to ask someone where Muriranjas is, and Igegania and such, karibu, karibu.
Good morning. I'm Maore John, representing Ovaya Sub-County Hospital, Nyeri. Ovaya Sub-County Hospital, Nyeri.
Karibu sana.
Morning, everyone. I'm Anchege, financial advisor on Mucho Dika branch.
Good morning. I'm Udoni Washira, financial advisor on Mucho Insurance Group.
Karibuni wale wanaingia, tunaomba mkuje tu mbele hivyo. Just don't even see, just come. Just walk to the front of the, there are some very high level seats reserved for you at the front. And then you let us know who you are, and yes, go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Nicholas from ABSA.
Good morning. My name is Mary Mutisia, pediatrician from Ruiru Sub-County Hospital.
Morning.
Morning.
My name is Kuria, pharmacist, Kandara Hospital.
Which hospital?
Kandara Hospital.
Kandara, okay. Karibuni, karibuni. I think we have two more at the front.
Morning, everyone. Dr. Ada, County Liaison Murang'a, working as a pharmacist, Maragua, Sub-County Hospital.
Good morning. I'm Stella, labor intern.
Karibu, karibu. We'll spare you for a minute. Let's have the gentlemen that have come in just introduce themselves.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Dr. Bonaventure Huehure. I work in Tumutumu Mission Hospital. It's a PCA hospital in Nyeri County. Thank you.
Morning. Morning, everyone. I'm John Kamau. I work at Thika Level 5, Kmpdu County.
Karibuni.
Good morning.
Morning.
Dr. Nyaga, from this county, radiologist. DU number 23.
It's a really good day to see many doctors from Kirinyaga. We never thought we'd see this day, but we are glad. We'll reserve this introduction. Maybe you can go first and then you give.
Good morning.
Kwa majina naitwa Arnold Malit, mimi ni daktari wa meno. Kwa sasa nasoma masters inaitwaje kwa Kiswahili? I'm doing my masters. So I'm a regi in KNH, but my last station was Kangema Sub-County Hospital in Murang'a. Karibuni sana. Oh, and I'm the assistant secretary. That's why I'm the one walking around.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Bill Murioki. I'm the secretary. That's why I'm not walking around. My last station was Nyeri, so I consider myself a doctor from Nyeri. That's where my parents are from. So I also serve as the secretary for the branch. Asanteni.
Last but not least.
I have heard it's a good morning, so I don't have to repeat. Don't answer. I know it is a good morning to everyone. And as per the introduction, first of all, before introduction, let me appreciate all our participants that have come, and also those people who have come to support us. We call them partners. They are our partners because we are going to share what we have, isn't it? They are going to educate us. We will carry what they have, we take it home. They also know the potential clients that they have and people that they can interact with. My name's, for those who do not know me, my name is Dr. James DAVJI. I'm a toxicologist, an epidemiologist, and a pharmacist. I practice in Thika Level 5 Hospital, and I'm the branch chairman for Kmpdu Central Kenya. Asanteni.
Asante Daktari. Thank you. So I left one person in knowingly, so I'll invite him shortly. But as you've heard, I think, I don't know if all of you know, but we have a new entry into the central branch, and that's the Mwai Kibaki Hospital. It joined Central, and Doc, you're from, no, this is Othaya. Yeah, so I think we were hoping to have a representative from Mwai Kibaki, maybe a Jafika, but when they get here, I think that's also a win for our branch. We should celebrate these milestones. Kirinyaga being on board, and now we have Mwai Kibaki. So before we go ahead, I will want to invite one of our partners, and we'll invite Olin Sako. I don't know who's speaking on behalf of Olin, or they're not here. Okay. In the meantime, then we can have Olala come and speak to us. Now, Mr. Olala, I'll give you 15 minutes so that we give time for questions. He will introduce himself and what he's about and give us a few pointers, and then that's okay. And then we will hear more from him. Do you need help? You okay? Sorry. Oh yeah. So tea should be ready in a few minutes. I'll let you know. Wacha aliniambia ana set up. So in the meantime, we'll just wait, and then we'll go and hear from them. So maybe I could hear from Ilan. You can come and give us just a short 5-minute story, because I think a lot of people are asking mediation, medical. We are not sure what you say. We need to get in. Just give us 5 minutes.
Hello again. I'm so happy for the 5 minutes, and I want to talk just briefly about ELAN and about mediation. ELAN is a training institute that has been recognized by MAC. MAC is the Mediation Accreditation Committee. For you to get to the judiciary, you have to go through MAC. So it is the firm that accredits their members to become mediators. Mediation is one of the alternative dispute resolution that has been based in Kenya. Out of having so many matters and cases piled up in courts, so they have gone for the mediation way, whereby the judiciary have trained mediators. They have accredited institutions that train mediators. You train mediators as a mediator for only 40 hours. 40 hours, that is if it's a physical class, and if it is online, you train for 2 weeks, you become a certified professional mediator. Once you become a certified professional mediator.
Good morning, I believe it's still morning. Good morning once again. Mi naitwa Daniel ama Ireri. 5 minutes, I don't know whether itatosha, lakini nitajaribu. We are here just again to enhance this partnership that we've been having. And I don't know whether maybe umesikia kuhusu nyumba zile tunapeana za ABSA. Maybe you've heard others, but maybe yetu hujasikia kweli. Ya ABSA iko hivi, maybe hujasikia manake hatukuwa hapa jana. We only need to evaluate your sources of income, then we shall be able to settle you. And for the record, zile nyumba tunapeana from ABSA, or even the support and tunakupea for you to own a home, we shall do it at 9%. And if we don't have an agreement, we run it for 9.5%. And somebody will ask, why bona 9 na 9.5? It's because we sourced this money from somewhere else other than the usual customer deposits. Because loans ama facilities are customer deposits, they are very expensive and they'll be like that for a very long time. Sawa sawa. That's why you'll always have expensive rates, because this money we have to return it to the customer with some return. But hii yenye nazungumzia ya nyumba, we sourced it from somewhere and it's solid for the next 25 years. Ceiling. Sawa sawa. So karibuni, we shall be here because sijapewa dakika 20, imepewa 5. Asante sana.
They'll be around for the whole day, so you can listen to them a little more as you take your lunch and as we interact more. So now it's my pleasure to invite Brother Raphael Olala. He's an industrial relations and employee wellness consultant, and he's been with the union quite a bit. He's very knowledgeable in these matters, employer and labor issues. Karibu sana. Could we give him a clap? Ama.
Angalau, now I'm a little bit happier. Assalamu alaikum. Najua lazima tuanze kujitayarisha because on Monday lazima tusonge karibu na miskiti. So kwa majina ni Olala. Olala Raphael is a CHRP holder, that is certified human resource practitioner. I also teach at the College of Human Resource. I lecture there. But all along, I've been in the trade union for a while now. This is my 19th year, handling issues, labor, issues, employee relations, issues, industrial relations, and facilitations. In fact, I remember your face now that you are calling me for the second time. And then Mwaura, Dr. Mwaura, she's a pharmacist, yeah? I think we met in Kisumu some time back, during induction, I think so. So actually, that's what I do. I've risen through the ranks of the union to the position of a General Secretary of Petroleum Oil Workers Union, that is of Pipeline, Total, Shell, and all these others. Then nikakosa na kura moja, siku ya elections. Niliangushwa na kura ngapi? Kura moja, na mimi pia nilishinda na kura moja. So I know the value of one. So actually, I've gone professionally now, just impacting knowledge and information. Now, I was invited to actually come be part of you for a while, because I'm aware that you'll be having your own private issues as the branch that you'd want to do. At some point in time, I'll be leaving. Of course, I've got my colleague, Stella, that is also an assistant. She is an intern-like. But then this intern is interested in mambo ya employee relations. She's gone back to school and she's learning. Then she happens to be my wife at the same time. A pharmacist, but is trying to change route towards labor, just like Bill. I saw Bill moving around the continent and the globe as well. Thank you so much. Now, I've been given 15 minutes, 2 or 3 of which I've already consumed. I thought of actually 40. I was promised 40 yesterday, Daktari. Jana nikitolewa Athi River, my home, I was informed that it's going to be 40. But I want to compress them so that at least I don't do injustice to the rest of the program, knowing too well we've started a little bit late. So, of legal instruments in labor matters in the world of work. What are the possible? I know doctors are purely issues health, purely issues medical, and at some time in point you forget about the labor, the employer-employee relations. And when people go for negotiations, or people go for conciliations, or people go for bargaining, or negotiation, CBA, then you find some at one point in time, there is a disconnect. So that's the reason why I was called to come at least speak to you about external legal instruments. We've got external and internal. This is not a normal class that I handle at the College of Human Resource or Tomboya Labor College, where I have an opportunity a whole day to even do a role play, to do public, not public engagement, but plenary discussions with question and answers. But then now I'll use the little time that is there. Legal instruments, we've got both external and internal. The external ones that we are having are ILO conventions and recommendations. These international labor organizations, conventions that are actually like Convention 98, Convention 87, and such kind of legislations. They form part and parcel of the standards and the rules that we are enjoying today. The Constitution of Kenya, the COK 2010, this is actually under Article 41 of the Constitution. You would find the rights, the freedom, and the kind of space that we are having. Industrial relations, the right to bargain, the right to join union, Kmpdu, and your right to go on strike as well. I'm aware, and for the last 1 week, 2 weeks actually, I've been handling issues, conciliation of Nairobi County, Nairobi City County government, where the doctors there are on strike, and we've really tried to conciliate. We've really tried to handle this to sometimes up to 3 a.m. Last time, there was a time we left past midnight trying to resolve issues. There were 8, but we could manage 6. 2 ilikuwa imekwama mpaka watu wengine wanaamshwa kwa kitanda usiku. Ya kwamba, what is your concern about this? Na judge alisema, I've given you 48 hours. Handle this or unless so and so must appear before me in person. And when you see a labor court judge saying, bill to appear before me in person, bill ujue tu vitu vikienda mbaya ni pingu na chini, sio? But the rights that are contained in the Constitution of Kenya allows you to go on strike. And one of the return to work formula that I'm working on right now is that there is a rider specifically of no victimization rider. It is contained in the Constitution of Kenya. Then we've got acts of parliament, which of course we can associate them with the late His Excellency Mwai Kibaki, that actually enabled us to have Employment Act, Labor Relations Act, Occupational Safety and Health Act, Labor Institutions Act, yes, up to that point. And WIBA, of course, WIBA is supposed to be up there. The 5 sets of labor laws, actually, it is a real concern of Mr. and His Excellency Mwai Kibaki the late. He actually signed all of those 5 sets into law on the same day. So then we've got NSSF, the normal one then we've got SHA or SHIF, which whenever I want to train and I reach SHA or SHIF or whatever the critical, emergency, critical and chronic, whatever fund, ninashindwa saa zingine huwa because maswali yenye yanatoka huku inaniweka at a position that I look like I'm from the authority. And I don't want to take responsibility. So normally nikifika hapo, I become a professional and I say, as a consultant, I was only called to let you know that there is a SHA. And the SHA contains some 3 funds, the universal one, the cover, and then the social health insurance and the emergency one. Up to that point, I rest my case so that at least I don't go into nisije nikapigwa mawe kwa kosa lenye si langu. Then NITA, we've got NITA, the National Industrial Training Authority. Then we've got some other external, a few other external acts. Fair Administrative Actions Act. Then Health Act. Of course, Income Tax Act is there. DPA, that is Data Protection Act. 2019. Data Protection Act is so close to us by now, by the way, especially in the medical space. I've handled issues of St. Joseph in Nakuru there, where somebody's face was used by the institution to actually market and do marketing. Then this person, while leaving the institution, asked the institution that pull down all my faces and all the other things about me while leaving, because I'm leaving together with all my rights. Then the institution failed to pay. Then the Directorate of, not occupational, but of Data Protection Commissioner, Madam Kasait, Immaculate Kasait, paid out, punished the institution a lot by virtue of your face being used elsewhere. So we are called data subject to that extent. Remember, my 15 minutes is running, so I may not go into depth of actually issuing examples. So, retirement benefits and then court precedents. What are court precedents? These are some decisions that have been made by a competent court of law that actually highlights on some specific instances that then can be used as a guiding principle or a guiding area for decision making or for legal reference. One of the examples, Judge James Rika of the Employment and Labor Relations Court, while sitting in Nairobi, found that when your policy contravenes the law, then you have to change that policy. One of which policy a lot of institutions have been carrying is that if you are staying at ABSA and you fall in love with another ABSA employee, then one of you is expected to either resign or be fired. A lot of policies, I've seen a lot of institutions having a policy like that. Then that conflict of interest would be there. Justice James Rika, Honorable Justice James Rika, has found that to be unconstitutional, illegal. In fact, he goes on to say that matters of love are matters of heart. You can't police them. You can't police them as an employer. This is provided for in the court precedents. And it is a matter of Mwaura James versus G4S Kenya of 2021. Internal, these are instruments that are within, which at the point of time when Kerugoya is employing you, then where the rubber meets the road, the first point of interaction is actually contract letters. The company policies will form part of that, the HR manuals, the work procedures, and the collective bargaining agreement. My dear colleagues, in my programs, actually I understand my 40 minutes to be broken into like 5, and then we leave 10 to 15 minutes for questions. But now in this case, I would wish to then run from the definitions of what labor law is all about. I would now run from run away from the sources of law, because we've got the Constitution as a source, primary source of law, legislations, judicial precedents, common law, customs, and legal writings. Like when is called, who is this right? Yeah? There's a name here in Kikuyu land, the central, of a writer, of an author. Ngugi. Did you know that even some judges refer to what what Ngugi wa Thiong'o once wrote sometime? So we can use this kind of writings, but for the legal writings, specifically for the people of the legal writing space. Now, ILO conventions is also a specific source of law. Now, you would also allow me to pass the development of labor law and how it came to be. These are specific acts which I now don't want to talk to in details, if you don't mind. But then I will just pass through them so that at least we are all in space, because I've got another interesting place for the work, for the employees, the doctors, members of the union, and the prospective members of the union. Those that are actually, I had somebody speaking about aspiring. Yeah? This is a person that would probably be organized, and hutoki hapa kabla huja join union. Tutakutongoza mpaka ujaze form na tukupatie DU number. Ya? Utatoka hapa ikiwa union dues zako tutaanza kula from next week. Eh? Thank you so much. Now, the objectives of labor review. We need to have labor review so that at least time and again, what would be the reason to domesticate the ILO conventions? Like right now, we've got an ILO convention on the rights of the domestic work. Did you know that our house helps work more than the number of hours that we need to, according to the Kenyan law? Did you know that you go to sleep leaving them while working in the sinks, on the sinks, and you wake up in the morning to find them on the sinks? Or indeed, they are working more. So there is a convention specific. And then there is another convention about harassment at the place of work. Then they have not been ratified. So there needs to be a review, a legal review, to actually domesticate those ILO conventions in the Kenyan space. Justice Cherargei, not Justice, but Honorable Cherargei, also sponsored a bill in the parliament. You are aware of that bill of trying to review Employment Act so that employees have a right to disconnect. Are you aware of that, doctors? That there is a bill in parliament currently as we are speaking that is aimed at giving a right to an employee to disconnect from the employer. Once saa 11 imefika and you have already signed out by your biometrics or physical signage, signature, and then your MedSup calls you that there is an emergency, an accident have occurred along Thika Superhighway. Please come back. Then you have a right to disconnect that phone. Na uingize chini na useme, I've got a date with my wife. I'm not coming back. So people were asked, in fact, Labor, Kotu Kenya Atuli alikata, Brother Francis Atuli alikata, akasema kwamba that will form a lot of, they will cause a lot of disputes. As much as it sounds good in the ears of the employees, but how many employers will stomach that? How many? It would cause a lot of disputes as well. EFK as well have refused it. And it was also supposed to ensure that 8 core labor, International Labour Organization conventions are adopted. These core labor ILO conventions, number 1 is convention number 29. Convention number 98 is about right to organize and collective bargaining. ECBA tunaimba kila siku. ECBA mzuri kwa masikio yetu is provided for in ILO convention number 98. Then ILO convention number 100, equal remuneration for work of equal value. Let another doctor that has just graduated, a young girl that have just graduated today, together with the Dr. Githinji. Then after job description, they are doing the same kind of work. Then let there be no discrimination on the younger one just because she's a woman or because of age or because of whatever level. Just so this ILO convention number 100 provides for equal remuneration of work of equal value. Then convention 105, abolition of forced labor. This one is already done in Kenya. We don't have forced labor per se, or unless otherwise in their minds or this kind of production places. Then freedom of association. Now, I wish to run away from this kind of ILO conventions because it would have been proper in my 40 minutes. But now that I've got around 7 more, is it not 7? 10, eh? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Then I can finish up with the Employment Act. Specifically, I had talked about the Employment Act in a general perspective. Then you can, now that I'm allowed 10, I can now go in to tell you that Employment Act provides for basic applicable terms and conditions at work. The hours of work, the annual leaves, the kind of termination if there is a separation. Ways of separation would be through death, of course, when Maulana ameamua kukuita na jina. Ukiitwa na jina, unafanya nini? Unaenda juu. It's an unfortunate way of separation. But then there is the ones that tunaandikia barua kama HR. The ones like summary dismissal, then termination by notice, there is redundancy, there is retrenchment, which is a sister to redundancy. There is resignation, where termination, you can terminate your own services by yourself. And such kind of the retirement is another way. So all these are provided for in the Employment Act. It provides for all the kind of, including sexual harassment. What is sexual harassment and what is contained in the sexual harassment. I've just topped from at that, Employment Act has a lot, my dear colleagues. I may not talk into details about Employment Act. Allow me to go to Labor Relations Act. Labor Relations Act is where the trade unions are formed. This is where the trade, specifically how actually trade unions are managed, the trade union dues, how the chairperson is elected, how the general secretary or secretary general is elected, and all their rights. So it's provided the rights to collective bargaining is there. And then the expeditious and conclusive dispute settlement from section 62 of the Labor Relations Act provides for the same. How the labor conciliator is supposed to call parties, they sit down, they agree. If they don't agree, the matter goes to the Employment and Labor Relations Court. That's actually what we call Labor Relations Act. I had already splitted it into parts, but I'm not going into parts because part one is about preliminary. It's normally the definitions and all that, yeah? But then let me run out of that and go to part two, which is also freedom of association. It provides for right to join and leave union. You have a right to participate in issues of union, and employers also have a right in section 6. And that right is also protected in section 7 of the Labor Relations Act. So you would want to see part 6, this is that union dues, agency fee, and an employer's organization fee. Union dues are those kind of subscriptions that are collected from the union member. But agency fee is an amount of money paid by the unionizable employee who is not a union member but is enjoying from the CBA, a concluded and registered CBA of Kmpdu versus, let's say, Kirinyaga, or this is now Kirinyaga County Government or Kmpdu County Government. The moment there is a concluded CBA, you are enjoying from that CBA, but you are not a union member, then the union have a right to charge agency fee from you. So it's provided for in section 49. Union dues is provided for in section 48. Now, there is also direct payment of union dues that you can privately go, and I know of some senior officials of county wenye wanaenda peke yao, which is really only for representative purposes, but then hawataki wajulikane, waonekane wakienda kwa union. So then part 7 speaks about recognition. And how do you get to recognition after the union reaches 50+1 simple majority of all the unionizable employees? Who are the shop? Becomes the point, the foot soldiers, yeah, the point where headquarters, when Dr. DAVJI ATELLA up there wants to communicate with the doctor at the specific institution or facility, then it is the liaison or the shop steward is provided for in section 55. So don't think that your responsibility is not grounded in law. It is. CBA is from section 57 going forward. Allow me then now, because of time, I have now 4 more, yes, thank you so much. Now, trade disputes allow me to run out of that because strikes and lockout. Lockout is the opposite term of a strike. A strike is that cessation of work by the employee to send a message to the employer that I need something that if you don't give me, I will withdraw my services. Then the employer also have a right to lock you out. Waseme ninakuongelesha na utaki kusikia. Sasa kesho ukikuja unapata hospitali imefungwa, nyinyi nendeni mkakae nyumbani for a while, then you can talk about 7 days notice of either strike or lockout must be issued. Allow me then to go to the last, the second last specific act, that is Occupational Safety and Health Act. This provides for safety. It secures the safety, health, and welfare of the persons at work. It protects persons other than the persons that are working at the place, actually, from injuries. But in the unlikely event somebody is injured after trying all the manner of preventive measures, then WIBA, Work Injuries Benefits Act, should come on board. These ones were details now, Doc, so let's run away from the details because now we don't have the time now for the details of OSHA, but we can go to the WIBA. WIBA is actually now compensating specifically for the diseases that have been contracted or the injuries, accidents that have been found there. And the person working on this is DOSH, Directorate of Occupational Safety and Health, and they do surveillance, they do registrations, they do inspections, they do registration of the workplaces. Of course, there is a lot of between the medical practitioners and WIBA. Honestly speaking, Labor Institutions Act is only providing for the institutions as the name goes, like National Labor Board. The people that advises the president, like right now, the Labor Day is coming on the first day of May 2025, and people are going to Nairobi, Pale Uhuru, and Uhuru Garden in Langata. And you are all welcome. I'm in the organizing committee of the same. And the national, before the president announces a general wage increase, there is a specific committee that goes out to study the performance of the economy. Then thereafter, they advise the minister. Then the minister advises the president. Then the president can proceed to actually announce. Then NSSF provides for these kind of benefits, the age benefits, the withdrawal, the immigration, the survivors benefits, including mtu akifiliwa na mtu wake. Then Social Health Authority, hapo mahali nilikuwa nakataa kuenda sana, ninafika kwa those three funds, then I stop. Because I can't go on. Nikienda mbele huwa ina elicit a lot of discussions. Kila mtu atakuwa anainua mkono juu. Mwingine anaanza kusema hata vile anko wake hajalipiwa mpaka leo. So like a consultant for sure, how do I even go on to respond to why your uncle have not been released from the hospital mpaka sai? We were to even had a break time. Imagine all that was up to the break time. Then now, the 2 minutes remaining, allow me now not to speak and explain more. But just to let you know what I programmed for you. How the Kmpdu is under a framework, industrial relations framework. This is a whole environment where Kmpdu survives. Therefore, none of these, you will not succeed in doing things that you want to do if you cannot work well with the affiliated, other affiliations, the sector, the health sector you are talking about, the Kirinyaga employer, the employers associations, and the employees who are the doctors, and all these are presented in the concept of trade union. I was now to go into what a trade union is all about. I'm sorry, time imeenda. And the objectives of Kmpdu. What would be the objectives of Kmpdu is to represent individual workers, is to improve the economic conditions of these people, is to ensure better working conditions for the doctors. It is to show resistance from the scheme of the managed. Wakati tajiri wanaanza kunyanyasa sana, it is the responsibility of a union to stand firm and say, no, this is not right. And also to secure social welfare. Wakati watu wanaendelea mzuri, kila kitu iko shwari, medical insurance. I've fought, and I think there was a time I handled a case. I don't know if it was Kmpdu medical insurance, where there was that private insurance. I actually handled your matter for the Kmpdu guys that are here. Yes, a more insurance, where nikizidi kufuata simu zikaanza kuja, zile simu za wakati huo it's good, people hawako wanapotea. I think ingekuwa iko wakati huo mimi ndio one of the people ningefanya nini? Ningepotea because kumbe tuliguza waya yenye wakubwa nisiseme sana, unajua niko pande hii. Niko pande hii ya Murima, naweza kosa kufika Nyanza. So actually I handled the Kmpdu case in the court, and the judge gave some orders, and actually the power was used. The power, Githinji is aware, alijaribu mpaka kwa parliament, alijaribu the best we could. This is our job. The legal advice as well. Now, what do unions do specifically? You would see that they do negotiations, they do representation, they do information and advice, and finally they do a member service. Wakati mtu hata amefiliwa, ako down, hawezi ongea, hawezi, the union should come on board. It's only that saa zingine an African or Kenyan union chapter do not have such kind of facilities. But I've had an opportunity, just like Bill have moved around, to actually study in Germany on issues, globalization and regional integration. I've seen trade unions that represents Volkswagen, that when an employee a member is unwell, when a member is going through grief, the union steps in. When the member is dismissed, the union steps in for 6 months and takes care of your daily livelihood. But now, in this case, now tunajua ya kwamba union ikianza kulisha watu hapa, then nguvu zetu zitaisha, sio? So that is what unions do. Now, as Kmpdu, this is the structure of Kmpdu. I know that you ought to have, we will do this at some point in time by the union. We've got national office where DAVJI, Dr. DAVJI ATELLA heads. Then we've got branches or regional offices, like now this is central where the leadership is right here. Then we've got some shop floor or the liaison, facility liaisons, or the county liaison officers. Then the members should be as many. So the pyramid should be smaller towards the top, and then watu yafaa wawe wengi at the tail end. Allow me then, benefits I've already talked about. I would have created time for each and every, improving staff retention, better decisions of business. Like right now, you've heard ABSA people offering what we call mortgage and some of these loans. I am aware that we are negotiating with several banks with the Nairobi city for the doctors in Nairobi to actually have a cheaper mortgage services. And indeed, I still wish to call upon Mheshimiwa. Hata hiyo 9 cheza kama wewe bana. 9, and I'm negotiating on behalf of, na mtalipa union dues, eh? Si mtanilipia union dues, eh? So, cheza kama wewe bado, so that at least it is easier for us to actually pick it on. The challenges, wacha nipite hapa. There are challenges of the union. I think it should be on the last slide or the second last slide. These are challenges that trade unions face across the world and across the Kenya as a country. And indeed, Kmpdu must have seen some of these challenges around. How do you manage this kind of gender and young worker challenges? Then you would understand Kmpdu in that cycle. You would understand how to make Kmpdu be sustainable. In terms of financial sustainability, you have to pay your union dues and remain. In terms of gender justice and empowerment of young doctors, I think that one had just come in my mind in the night. There are young doctors who are interested in their rights to be seen, so that wasionekane inferior. And all that modernization and good governance and issues of that sort. Key elements, you do trade union governance, so that you overcome the kind of challenges, Brother Githinji. You do trade union governance, good governance, building demand-driven services. You give services that are demanded by the members, not services that are thought by the office. Then strategic planning. In the event you go today to the management, in the event you are appointed as the PS, like Dr. Oluga now, how will the central branch proceed on without you? Then communication must be effective, feedback must be admitted. Finally, advocacy. Please meet the stakeholders, meet strategic people like Mutual, Old Mutual, and all these other people. My dear colleagues, the change is having a formula that we must actually embrace. In this change, in that formula, we've got C as the change. The C is equals to D. There must be a level of dissatisfaction at Kirinyaga. For this brother to have wished to join the union, he has just stepped out, there must be a level of dissatisfaction. In that dissatisfaction level, it must be multiplied by the vision. You must have a vision. How would Kmpdu be in the next 5 years? What is our strategic plan? What is our strategic way through which we want 10 years after we've left? Our students are still in medical schools at their graduation, and they join the hospitals. What type of hospitals are they going to get? What type of rights are they going to get? The vision. Then the initial steps that you are going to take, times the initial steps. You must, once you have had the vision, you must step towards the vision. Yes, you must step towards the vision. And all this must be greater than resistance. Because resistance utapata. Hata mkitaka kuchange vitu kwa hiyo ofisi, lazima mtapata watu wenye wanawapiga. Mimi nimekaa kwa union mpaka nikakuwa general secretary. Earlier on in 2018, I had already become a general secretary. Nikarudi kufukuzwa 2021 na kura ngapi? Kura moja. Na sili sababu nilishinda mimi pia na kura moja. The moment you want to change things, then resistance must be there. But if all this is greater than resistance, I assure you, you will succeed. Thank you so much, my dear colleagues. Viva Kmpdu, viva! Viva! Viva Madaktari, viva! Viva! Solidarity? Forever. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much for your insightful conversation. Do you have any burning question for this labor? Yes. Ah, great. You have one here.
What is the lifeline of a CBA? Because we have a union that has been quoting a CBA that was last negotiated in 2017.
Lifeline of a CBA. Right, that. Yes, any other? Omanio too? We can have 2 or 3, then we close because of the time in Meona.
You. Thank you for that very insightful presentation. You mentioned court precedents. In our discussions or negotiations with counties, we've had medical officers, pharmacists, and dentists who are usually employed on contract terms, which sometimes are not as favorable and they're not representative of the CBA that we have in place. So you'll find medical officers who are doing the same job or the same JD, but they're paid less as compared to their colleagues who are on PMP terms. There was a court case by, I think, KCB staff who are working on contract, and there are others who are on PNP, and they had different rights. And the judge ruled that if you're working in the same JD, you should be paid the same. How can we negotiate, or how can we deal with our employers to ensure that we harmonize these two scenarios?
Thank you so much. Let me begin from that before actually it evaporates. Then I go to the one of lifetime. For the contracts or temporary employment terms, professionally, if you ask me as Solala, I still would go for P&P other than contract. You know why? P&P finally is cheaper for the employer. They just don't seem to have made this mathematics. There was a time I was meeting the Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital, the facility down here at Kiambu, and actually I made a map to them on the wall, and the HR admitted that yes, we are supposed to go P&P. I'm so happy that even the county government of Nairobi have seen the sense and is converting 137, I think so. By the time we were signing this agreement, we were finalizing this agreement, I saw a communication of conversion of up to 137 doctors from the usual contract of some years into P&P, because they've made a calculation as well and found that P&P is good enough. Now, there is bad governance. So if something is happening due to bad governance, then probably as a consultant, I may not cure that with an answer, a straightforward answer, because it depends on a specific leader. There is a leader that believes that nikiweka watu kwa contract, then that is the best way of saving money. But wanasahau ya kwamba gratuity iko huku. And gratuity, you have to do it at some percentage, which is finally higher than this other one. Now, some advocacy is also needed for this. Hata hiyo ya Nairobi ili tuipate, there was some advocacy here and there. Back to your question, 4 years actually is the lifetime of a CBA. A CBA, according to SRC, that is. Before SRC, we used to be having CBA of 2 years, and even some private institutions 1 year. But then SRC came. SRC is a constitutional mandated under Article 263 and of the Constitution of Kenya. It's a constitutional body. Therefore, it indicated 4 years. Now, the CBA, upon signing and registration, proceeds to the 4th year. Proceeds to be alive and active until another one is negotiated, registered, and implemented, bro. So if you are actually speaking of 2017, if you add 4 more years, that would have taken us to 2021, then it means that there is an ongoing negotiations. Right now, I want to presume that there is an ongoing negotiations, which sometimes can be really frustrated by the employer. By every other time you go for negotiation, it is adjourned for one reason or another, and it keeps on and on and on. Thank you so much. Aha. Solidarity tutaimba baadaye, because from my end, if ndugu Githinji allows me, if at some point in time mtataka kubaki peke yenu, then sasa mimi I can excuse you so that you do your own internal stuff. But niko around for the time being. If there is any question, I would be more than willing to actually respond. Anything about employee and labor relations, not medical. Thank you. Yes. Yeah?
You can still listen to what the
yes, I would also listen.
Yeah.
I'm handling a lot of Kmpdu guys, so probably there is an offer I'm going to hear.
That's beneficial, yes. That's true. Thank you. We can give him a clap. That was a very good session. I hope our aspiring member, kwani aspiring member? There you are. Are you sold out now? I'll give the duty to all of us. By the end of today, utakuwa na DU number, si ndio? All right, so our tea is ready. I don't want us to have a break, as I had mentioned, but for the sake of those who have come in later, we will not have a tea break. But you can step out, get your cup, and come back as we continue with the session. Is that okay? Now, I'm going to call all in circle. Please come forward with, let us know what you have. Do you guys know you can have your salary paid through the circle? Yeah, you do. So let's hear what they have for us. They are some of our partners for the day. We'll give you 10 minutes. And in that time, those of us here that you can step out for a cup of tea and come back. The other thing is by the time we are breaking for lunch, this is just an announcement. By the time we are breaking up for lunch, we will have been done with our program. So bear with us. We will move in quick blocks so that we're able to finish this in good time. Is that okay? All right. So, karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Madam. The leadership of Kmpdu, my name is Mr. Samo, Head of Business Olin. My request would be, because I don't have luxury of time, you permit that I stand on the existing protocols so that we may lead him on time. Madaktari hamjambo. Mnaendelea vizuri. So I work for Olin. I'm head of business. Olin is a national circle. We were formed basically from the teachers' background, but we've opened our common board. And now we are in 6 counties in the nation. We have 11 branches. Our asset base, for those of us who want to do some calculations, now we are rocking 15 billion. We are Tier 1 national circle. Why are we here? We are here because, number one, we partner with the medics, especially from this county. Like 70% of the medics in this county, their financial issues are powered through Olin. Why should you as a medic join Olin? One of the things, or two of the things that trouble humankind is the sector that you are in, health. The other problem that is ailing the world is where we are, finances. Our request would be, manage the people's health. Let us manage your finances. What are we doing in Olin? We just have a few, we have a tent out there, you come and see what we are doing. Currently, we are offering you two avenues. Number one is an avenue for you to invest. And we are calling people to invest on what we are doing as share capital. We have been doing this for the last 10 years. We are closing this year because we'll be clocking our budgetary set. We wanted to do 1 billion. We'll be clocking that this year. Now we are 800 million on the share capital platform. We are paying guaranteed 17.5%. Simple calculation will tell you that in 5 years, you have recouped your investment. And this is the argument we are having. Instead of probably thinking about things like real estate, why don't you think probably to do a distributed kind of setup? If like now you have like say 5 million that you probably want to buy a prospective avenue, and all in we are giving you at 17.5. For every 1 million, you are taking home 170,000. So if you do simple mathematics, show you that in 5 years, your 5 million you have already recouped. From year 6, now you are having what we call now return on investment 100%. So for me, anyone who want to think about investment, think about future, then this is the place to be. Those of us who are doing treasury bills last year, the highest it went was 17. So Olin is paying the highest, and it's something that is guaranteed, where even other big banks were investing in the government. Number 2 has to do with other people's money. I tell people, and I'll say this as I sit, if you hear you don't have a loan, you also need to consult a counselor. Something is wrong with your thinking. I think that's a hard one, but that's the truth. Kenya has a loan, right? Safaricom is one of the richest company East and Central Africa. It has a loan. Equity Bank has a loan. You as an individual, why would you brag that you don't have a loan? If you don't have a loan, simply you are saying you have run short of ideas. Because what a loan does is to simply power your ideas. You are using other people's money to power your ideas. What does loan do to you? Loan gives you time. What you should have done in 10 years, saving slowly by slowly for 10 years, you have an opportunity to do now so that you'll be paying back slowly in 10 years. You get what I'm saying? All-in is giving you, number 1, what we are calling prime loan. It's payable in 108 months. We are giving you premium loan. It's payable for 96 months. Non-secured. Non-secured. Interest, effective interest of 9%. Where else would you want to be? Finally, so that I sit, we are branchless. Our services are available. All of them are available on your mobile phone. So we will have a discussion. We have a tent there. Around that, I honor the respect you were given by Madam Chair. We really appreciate for the offer that you gave us. We are part of your partners. We are part of the people powering whatever is happening here, and to be part of you. I wish you a very good day. For any question, we'll be back there. I have a big team. We'll be answering together. Karibuni Kirinyaga, wale ambao si wa Kirinyaga. Asanteni sana.
Thank you. Thank you so much for honoring our time and teaching us a few things. I think it would be prudent for us to spend a minute or two when we get out. Is that okay? Sounds good? All right, sawa sawa. So for now, I hope we are stepping out for chai to Kirudi. Today we are also going to be selecting the delegates that are going to represent us at the ADC in Mombasa. This is on the 9th to 11th of May. So msiende mahali. Usually ukiwa kwa meza, you eat fast, sindio? So mnakaa, so that we select that at the end of the day. But for now, we'll move on to the chairman. We will have the chairman's report now. We have 4 reports that we have to listen to. And that's the chairman's, we have the secretary, we have the treasurers and the auditor's report. So tutazi-intervene hivyo, tukienda, tukimaliza. Sindio? So let's hear what the chairman has been up to. So, that's okay. Okay. So a little change of events. Dr. DAVJI is on the way and coming. So the chairman requests that we hold up his report for a minute. And in the meantime, let me invite Equity Bank to come. They are one of our partners as well in this day and in this weekend. Now, wakaribisha to have 10 minutes. Tell us how we can partner with you and how you can benefit from us as we benefit from you as well. We'll be grateful for that. There's some sign-up sheets going around. Please make sure you sign up on the papers. They help us with a lot of things that we need to think about. So over to you, Equity.
So good afternoon, doctors. Good
Good afternoon. My name is John Megwe. I'm from Equity Bank. I'm the credit manager at Kagio branch. Branch is here, still in Kirinyaga County. This is Equity Bank, Tier 1 bank, driven by our Africa Recovery and Resilient Plan that is driving us to make sure that Africa is moving places. I can remember when I was young, I happened to have an opportunity to see our CEO who was saying by 2030, he will have spread Equity Bank throughout Africa. And at that time, it was just some branches at Kagema, Kiriaini, and Nairobi. So you can see the passion that we want to make sure Africa shines. And even when COVID struck, we came with this plan to make sure Africa is rising. Africa has a recovery and resilient plan. This is endowed, Africa is endowed with a lot of resources. And with this realization, we have done our financial services, among others, to help our current 20 million customers. Now we have a 20 million customer base spread within 6 countries. That is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Congo, DRC, Congo, Rwanda, and Sudan. I would go direct to the products that we are giving, specifically for doctors, because that's where our interest is. We can give an unsecured loan up to 8.5 million. I think there is one of my colleagues who has spread the sheets there. You can see there is a column for the fact that we can finance you and the period that we can give you up to 10 years. The products that we offer asset finance. This is where you can buy a vehicle without even any contribution. For new vehicle, going for repayment of 5 years, and used vehicle above 8 years. You know, in Kenya, you cannot import a vehicle that is above 8 years. That one we give up to 4 years in repayment. And for our salaried customer, we don't ask for contribution. We also have salary loans where we multiply your loans 4 times, maximum of 4 times, and you pay within 1 year. We also have our Equi-loan product. That is the sheet that is going on. Our check-off system where you are paid through the payslip. We book that loan up to the maximum of 10 years. And we can give doctors up to 8.5 million, depending on the qualification on the payslip, because of something called 1/3 rule, where you cannot commit more than 1/3 of your basic salary. We have also other loans, biashara loan for those that have the investment, rental income, they are doing farming here and there. We have biashara loans that we give at a very, currently our interests are 16% for almost all our loan. And I think we are the best in the banking sector. And still we are following the central bank, which sit every 2 months to review the interest rate to make sure our customers are enjoying the best rates in the market. We have the salary account where you can let your salary pass through the account with no ledger fees. So even if you leave, you can leave 100,000, be sure that even if it comes 10 years, your money will still be there unless you withdraw it, and we will credit some interest every year on that account. For all our salaried customers, we don't need your salaries to pass through our account. Even if the salary is passing through any other bank, ABSA, cooperative, or anywhere, we still can finance you as long as we book that loan on your payslip. The other thing is that we also have our investment bank as a subsidiary where we buy bills and bonds, government bonds. This is infrastructure bonds, the bonds that if you go to the newspaper, you see some bonds that are being sold by the government. We still trade on that. You just come to us. We advise you how to do them in the first market and even in the subsequent market where you buy from the other client. We also have fixed deposit. Our competitive rates up to 11% right now. We also have very many ways of accessing your account. I think Equity has the best way of accessing the account. By having many ways of accessing your account, you can dial *247#, that's our USSD, and give almost every product that you need from that platform. We give our Equity line, which you can use to call and also access the banking services as you wish. We also have our online banking. If right now you go to Google search, that is the app search, you get Equity app and you download it. If you are not able to onboard on it, you can go to Google search and search customer help Equity Bank and then lodge your request there, and our customer service will help you go through, of course with a lot of verification on that online platform. So you can onboard yourself on the app without even going to the bank, as long as you have the account. You also have EasyBiz, a very comprehensive banking system where you can set salaries, you can buy forex, that is foreign exchange, you can trade on shares, a very comprehensive system that we give to our customer. You just need, we onboard you. As I said, there is no minimum bank balance for our accounts. We don't ask for shares for financing, and salary must not be limited through our account so that we finance you. We also have an insurance company that is called Iraq, currently offering the credit life insurance, and we have also gotten the license for general insurance. So soon we will be onboarding vehicles and other kind of insurances, and it's doing very well and very competitive. I think it's one of the fastest growing insurance company. We also have our Equity Group Foundation, where we offer health. We have been sponsoring something called Equity Afia. I think you interact with those doctors. I have one of my friend who is working with called Chuma at Rogai, doing very well with that collaboration. I think you interact with these customers, or rather the doctors, and we are going far. We want to make sure that we finance every sphere of life with the best rates and make sure that our Africa utilizes the resources that we have. That from time immemorial, Africa was said to go no places. But we, with our asset base of 2 trillion Kenya shilling and still moving ahead, we know we have whatever it takes to make sure that this country and other countries move. And nobody can say we don't have money to do whatever they want to do, any kind of innovation. In fact, we want to make sure that our book, 25% is going to to agriculture, making sure that we are doing smart agriculture, we are financing tractors, all the machineries and manufacturing, agro-manufacturing area. We have the muscle to do it. You just need to make sure that your account is okay. And we also, in case of security, we are very much flexible. We just listen and we move together. So I may not have much to say, but welcome. My colleague is spreading sheets on how we finance our check-off system, and our contacts are there. I am John Megwe. My contact is down there, 0724 360, like 360 degrees, then 552. Then you are connected to Equity Bank, and any question is at home. Thank you very much.
We give them a clap, tafadhali. Asante. Thank you so much, Equity. We have an online community that has joined us. We are streaming this live. So karibuni, those who are joining us from online. We have quite a few members there, and we are grateful for that. May I request those who are taking tea to please come back with it, so that we have a lot of us in here. Tafadhali, wale wako nje, tunaomba mrudi ndani so that we can continue. So the next partner that I'm going to call is our friends from Housing Finance. So if you're ready, we can listen to you and hear what and how we can partner with you guys. The other thing is to mention that we have more partners with us. Mentor Sacco, asanteni sana for joining us today. Old Mutual, tunashukuru that you're here with us. So guys, we have a lot of engagements to do with those that are here among us. Yes, and if you go for tea, please take tea and come back inside. Tunaomba tafadhali. All right, asante.
And we are very happy to see this congregation. Nilikuwa nimeplan kuwaita watu wa shi na sha. Then something told me, zuia tafadhali. Niwachane nayo kabisa. Yeah, so we are from HFC. So we wanted to give you a brief history of HFC. Not even a history, but say how we are structured. So our structure, a lot of you know Housing Finance, HF, but we are HF Group. That is our name. That is our actual name, HF Group. So HF Group is the holding company. It is listed in NSE. We have 4 subsidiaries. So the 4 subsidiaries, one of them is HFCK. So that is the bank. So it offers all the banking products. It is a kawaida bank. All of you know the bank. So that is HFCK. Our second subsidiary is HF Foundation. How many have heard about HF Foundation? Show of hands, please. Let's interact. HF Foundation. Thank you. At least somebody from Equity Bank knows about HF Foundation. Somebody else? HF Foundation. Nobody else? Then I think we need to pull up our socks. So HF Foundation does what do you call it? CSR. A kawaida foundation. Educating children, taking care of the poor. We don't build roads, but we take care of the poor in northern frontier, all those. So that's our second subsidiary. Our third subsidiary, so I'm intentionally making the fourth one be the fourth one. So our third subsidiary is HFBI, B for boy. So that is HF Bank Assurance Intermediary. So I must make this clear. So we don't underwrite. What we do, we pick business and then we give to underwriters. So more or less, but don't quote me, we are an agency of sorts. Most of the time we underwrite with Britam, mainly because in our shareholding, remember we have over 22,000 shareholders, but 48% of HF Group is owned by Britam. So more or less, we underwrite with Britam. So our fourth subsidiary is HFD, D for dog, HFDI. And now I sit at HFDI. That is Housing Finance, Development and Investment. A lot of people say these are the property guys. So, and I want to speak more of HFDI because I see Dr. arrived, and I think what would benefit him greatly from us is HFDI. So HFDI, we have been in business since 1960, 1961. So initially, as you can see on the slides, my co-director is Pauline. I'm sorry, I said I'm Stanley, but she's Pauline. So if we can see the second slide, Pauline, we have been in business since 1960. Majority of what we were doing is developing. We were developers. We are the developers of estates like Buruburu, Woodley, yenye imebomolewa juzi, we were the developers. So for quite a number of years, 1960s to 2015, we were mainly developers. As always, there is always a time when you have to change your tact. So in 2015, we changed our tact. We stopped being more of developers and we became more of joint venture partners. So we partnered with a lot of landowners to develop properties. But remember, as always, we were the face. Nobody even knew there is a third party somewhere behind. So a lot of estates, like, I don't know who knows about Precious Heights in Riruta? I said we must engage. Now this one is an engagement. Precious Heights in Riruta, anybody with a word? Okay, that's why you are here. So today, now you know. Precious Heights in Riruta. We are a joint venture partners. Who has ever heard about Richland Point? Okay, who has ever been in committee? Not as a convict. I must make this clear because I know nobody will lift their hands if you hear about committee. Anybody who has ever been in, yeah, exactly. Just knowing the gate to Committee Maximum Prison. Opposite the gate, there is a huge development called Richland Point. We are also joint venture partners. So we've been selling it, but as at now, I think we have 3 or 4 units to go. Komarok Heights, anybody who has ever heard about Komarok Heights? We said we must engage. Yeah, thank you very much. So Komarok Heights, we were also joint venture partners. At around 2019, now we changed tact again. We stopped being joint venture partners, mainly because we realized the rate at which we are giving out money to develop is not equivalent to the rate at which we are recovering the money through sales. So as a business person, all of you are daktaris, fair enough, or you are in the medical field. But you don't want your money to stay out there for so long. You want your money to go and then come back, +1. So due to that need, we changed our tact again in 2020. We exited joint venture partners, and until today, now we came up with a new model. We call it landowner wealth management. And this is where I want you to listen. So if you're having your cake, have it, but now we are listening. So, and this is what we do today as HFDI, landowner wealth management. So we look at Daktari here. He has a tranche of land, but he wants to sell it. But he does not know how to sell land. Yeye anajua kudunga sindano, kutetea wananchi pale, haki yetu kidogo kidogo. Because we are experts in selling of land, now we partner with you. We take over that parcel of land, we don't buy. I want to make this clear. A lot of people say, hey, HF, you buy land. So I think we rarely buy land. So you are lucky to be here today because now you know we don't buy land. What we do, we take up that parcel of land, it remains yours, but we become the face. So, assuming I want us to have a case of like 50 acres or something. So we master plan it, we look for the individual title deeds, we do, what do we call it? Value addition. So this is roads, fence, water reticulation, sewer, we bring power closer to you. And now we sell to you as individuals in smaller parcels of land. Could be, I think the list we have is a 40, no, we have a 30 by 80 somewhere in the river. We are going to that slide. So it is our job. We become the face. You as a purchaser, you only know HF is not the actual owner when we get to the transaction stage. That's when you realize you are not transacting with HF. Hapo ndo utakuta it is now you versus Stanley Minor. So that is what we are mainly doing today, land owner wealth management. We master plan, we subdivide, we do everything. So we are the people who give contracts to, if there is a surveyor on site, it is us who has contracted the surveyor. So in that endeavor, because that is what we are mainly doing today, we have quite a number of projects. I know all of us have different desires. Somebody wants Thika Road, somebody wants Limuru Road, somebody wants Oyekwe, somebody wants Mombasa Road. So we have quite a variety of projects. What were Thika Road, please? I'm not saying that's where you live today. I'm not saying it's a bad place. I'm not saying it's a good place. So I want to start with Thika Road. And I think some of my people are distributing trifolds. So you will see quite a number of projects listed in that trifold. On Thika Road, exit 13, that is Keganjo Road. I know a lot of you know Daikyo. Who knows Daikyo Estate? I said we must engage. Daikyo, exit 13, towards Gatondo. So just next to Daikyo, we have one of our projects. We are almost exiting. It is called Fahari Estate. You will find it in that trifold that we are sharing. So Fahari Estate, I think we even have a few of our banners here. Fahari Estate, we are selling 1/4 acre of land at 9 million. But if you talk well to me today, you can get it at 7.5. But nitakupatia pale, I know where I'll give you. No, it's only me who knows. So Fahari Estate is one of our projects in Exit 13, that is Keganjo Road. 10 million, you have a quota, so we have master planned, the roads are there, the fence is there, the gate is there, water is there, sewer is there, so it is fit for purpose. You just come in and build your house. Majority of our estates, I want to mention this so that I don't mention it in every project, we have typologies to choose from because they are controlled developments. Some of them we have 2 typologies to choose from, some we have 3, some we have 4. I think the one that one of the projects we have 5 typologies to choose from. So on Thika Road we have Fahari Estates. And who knows Kirigiti Stadium? What Wampira, please? So just not very far from Kirigiti Stadium, we have another project called Barista Gardens. Who can guess why we called it Barista? Just a guesswork. I said where it is, Kirigiti Stadium. You want to guess? Why do you think we called it Barista Gardens? Yes, Barista Gardens. Sorry? Yes, because the land, it is owned by a coffee institution, and until today, it is a coffee farm. So that is why we just chose to call it Barista Gardens. So we have Barista Gardens just not very far from Kirigiti. Let's say it is between Kirigiti and Tatu City. So we have quarter acre, 10 million again. Nani akona 10 million sai? Okay, ama tuseme 8 million. 8 million. Okay, najua mtaniona kando. Na uko geria mani, si ndio? So, I want to mention another project. So, I'm done with Fahari, I'm done with Barista. Now, Clay City. Clay City is between Kasarani and Githurai. Okay, I've been looking for a better word than Githurai, but hapo ndo iko between Kasarani and Githurai. Who knows a place called Kaosh? Kaosh. Exactly. So what do we call this church? Who wants to talk about which church? Which? Not Sitam. Not Sitam. This church that came from Nakuru, I think the main church is in Nakuru. Kingdom Seekers. So if you know where Kingdom Seekers is, right behind Kingdom Seekers. So we have a project. So in this project, we have done an apartment there called Clay City. But we decided, as opposed to developing the whole parcel of land, we allow you guys to become developers. So you buy a plot, 40 by 80, and then you do your own apartments. If you have 6 million, you can start thinking about developing at Clay City. Another project, Limuru Business Park. I'm following the order on the screens. So Limuru Business Park is in Limuru town. Who knows where Bata is? We said we must engage. Bata, just next to Bata, there is some 8-acre parcel of land. We have subdivided into eighths and quarters. An eighth goes for 5.9 million. So this one is buy and build. It is purely, because it is so much in town, you don't do a single dwelling. So it is purely for apartments. 5.9 million, an eighth acre. A quarter acre, 11.8 million. That one is in Limuru town, Limuru Business Park. I think that's one of the most exciting projects. The ROI there is wonderful. I know a lot of you would say, hey, lakini Limuru inakuwa pole pole. It's simply because you have not come there and then we partner, we develop, then it grows at a faster rate. Another project is the stables. Now, watu wa luxury, najua mumetoka Naivasha juzi, but sijasikia mtu amekohoa juu. I've realized a lot of people who came from Naivasha, they have a serious cough. But I've not had somebody coughing around here. So ni kama muliachana tu na Naivasha. Nyinyi ni madaktari, exactly. So mulitoka Naivasha ama mulikuwa mmeenda na cetirizine mukajitibu. So we have a project called the Stables. This one is a lifestyle product. It is at the junction of or intersection of Limuru Road and Wayakiwe. If you use Limuru Road all the way to join Wayakiwe pale juu, iko hapo left. So it is a project owned by, we call it Stables by Magnet, because Magnet Ventures are the actual landowners. I want to remind you again, all these projects that I'm mentioning, we are not the landowners. We are doing landowner wealth management. So the stables, we call it stables because kuna mafarasi huko, unanunua shamba unapewa mafarasi kadhaa. Don't quote me because utakuja siku moja nitakwambia hiyo farasi sasa, I want us to think of how to buy it. So it's a lifestyle product. So we are selling from 7 million 50 by 100. Stables by Magnet. Another project is Ngong Hills. Now, this Ngong Hills is actually in Ngong town. Kabisa, kabisa, kabisa. Over Christmas, you usually get a notification. Avoid Nairobi, Nakuru highway. Use alternative routes. For example, Ngong Suswa Road. So, on that road, this is where this project is. But it is right at town, Ngong town. So it is a project by Britam. The actual landowners are Britam. So we are selling commercial plots because it's so much in town, so it is not for single dwellings. It's purely for you buy, you build apartments. It is not restricted. Whatever you want to build. So those are the projects that we are handling today. Now, Villa Kazi. Villa Kazi is in Mutongoni Road. I think nobody here knows about Mutongoni Road. Anyone? Naweza kuwa niko na dhao kwa mfuko na nipeane saa hii. Mutongoni Road. Mutongoni Road. Hakuna kugoogle. Mutongoni Road is right behind Crystal Rivers in Athi River. Just before you get to Athi River town, there is a road that, ama who knows, Karibu Homes. There is a Karibu Homes somewhere. Right opposite Karibu Homes, we have Villa Kazi. Villa Kazi is the actual landowners are Madison Insurance. We are selling 30 by 80 and 40 by 80 plots. You have two typologies to choose from. So that one, because it is not in town, so you are doing your single dwellings. The show houses are there. We have two typologies. One of them, the only difference between the two is one has a DSQ, the other one does not have a DSQ. So they are 4-bedroom, all of them. So we are selling from 2.75. I think that is our most affordable project today. Nani akona 2.7 yake? Sawa, mtu wa kamera akonayo. Sawa, atanipatia after this. So that one is on Mutongoni Road. Sagana. Sagana is closest to where we are today. I know you guys, I think this is Central Region. So not many of you maybe came from Nairobi, but maybe you practice from Nairobi. You might have seen our billboard in Sagana. Who knows Sagana Getaway Resort? Hii nayo niko sure, mwenye hata inua mkono, it is a lie. I know daktari, you know Sagana Getaway Resort. So this Sagana is at Sagana Getaway Resort. The plots are surrounding the resort. They are actually owned by the resort. So the owner started with a resort to add value, because I think without the resort, maybe bei ingekuwa mbaya sana. So they did the resort. Now all of us know it. So now the plots are surrounding the resort. Quarter acres, 2.5 million. If you are driving back to Nairobi, you will see a billboard. If you are coming from Nairobi, the billboard is two-sided. You will see it. And you will see our container just hapo tu kando kwa barabara. 2.5 million, quarter acres. Single dwellings. Mango Gardens. This one is on Bob Harris Road. Hii nayo sidhani kuna mtu anajua. Bob Harris Road, please. Anybody? Thank you very much. So on Bob Harris Road, Bob Harris is, if you're coming to Nairobi, just before you get to Mangu High School, there is that tarmac, that branches, still on the same side on your left. Around 2.5 kilometers, you will find this project, Mangu Gardens. We are selling 50 by 100, 2.5 million. But now the prices are changing to 2.75. But for the purpose of this meeting, 2.5. I'm allowed to discount kidogo to 2.5. Yeah, I think basically, Fahari, I think basically those are our projects today. We have several projects in the pipeline, around 13 projects that are coming up. We are onboarding them. So I'm sure in the next forum, we will have more than that. We are happy to engage. Remember, one of our subsidiaries is a bank. So if you pay, say, 10, 20%, financing is available within our banking subsidiaries. I must mention, in Sagana, fronting the road, now this one is for investors. Fronting the road, we have a 2-acre piece of land fronting the highway. It's purely for commercial purposes. You can do a petrol station and all those amenity shops. It is fronting the road. So apart from now the residential units, we have a 2-acre parcel of land purely for commercial purposes. Nani akona 40 million? Mutaniona kando. So I would really encourage investors. We have a 2-acre parcel fronting the highway for commercial purposes. Anyone with a question before I exit the stage? Yes, please.
How can we, thank you, it's been very informative, but how can we get information of your upcoming projects? As you said, you have 30 in the pipeline and...
Yes, we have quite a lot. So there's something we call the marketplace. If you Google HF Group, you will see the main website. If you go to properties, within the main website, you will see what we call the marketplace. We list all those properties at the marketplace. Every time we onboard a new project, we list it on the marketplace. So you will be able to get it on the marketplace. So before we meet in our next forum, you will have seen it on the marketplace. Yes, please.
Yeah, so you said when I'm getting into a contract, I'm not getting into a contract with HFC, I'm getting into a contract with Kmpdu. Now, that doesn't pose a challenge of, what happens if me and Kmpdu do not agree at some point? Because it's like you've just linked me up with Kmpdu, but then you've walked away. So what happens between me and Kmpdu if we don't agree? Then secondly, isn't that also a breach of trust? Because you identify it at the end of the negotiation, when I'm about to sign the contract is when you're telling me, oh, by the way, ishamba si yangu ni ya Kmpdu.
So let me make this very, very clear. Our Kmpdu's are trustworthy Kmpdu's. By the time we are onboarding a project as HF Group, we do a lot of due diligence. Like now I've said we have a lot of projects in the pipeline. The reason why they are not listed and why I didn't come with those projects today is because we are not done with due diligence. So trust our Kmpdu. By the time we are agreeing to onboard a project, we have vetted our Kmpdu clearly because we know you are buying because of us, the brand. Remember, we are a national image. So before we agree to onboard, all the dots have been cleared. So trust our Kmpdu.
Have you seen that commercial of Trust the Kmpdu selling land? Anyway, so thanks.
Yes, please, trust our Kmpdu. 2 more questions. If there are 2, I'll pick 2. Someone with a question? A comment? So, to reach us very, very easily, so I'll make you reach me. If you need to get any further information, just talk to me, Stanley Minor, 0723 430 295. Anytime you call me, ask about anything, ask about financing, plot, whatever. And if you have a chunk of land you would like us to partner, of course, we will initiate that discussion with you. So I'm letting this be open for any deal that you would like us to do between yourselves and HFC. We are open, and we thank you very, very much. Thank you for your time, Dr.
Thank you very much, HFC, HFDI. I didn't even know you had so many subsidiaries, so it's good to know. I think we've learned something new. So for more information, they have a tent outside, and I think they are willing to engage with us. So from this point on, I think we can now engage with our AGM. Karibu sana Bwana SG. It's a pleasure to have you here. So I'll hand this over to Dr. Githinji to give us the chairman's report. Our partners, it's okay if you can step out, but feel free to be with us. Karibu.
Thank you, Madam Organizing Secretary. Karibu SG. And members, we are happy to see you. This is your day, and therefore we are very happy for those who are here physically. We know it's a sacrifice, and for that sacrifice, you get the rewards, or you have been actually been getting some rewards on the same. I want to believe that is why we are here. We were here in the same hotel a year ago, with the SG during a doctor's strike. I don't know how many of us can remember that. The people from Kirinyaga, can you remember that? That was when it was said at KICC that every governor must hurdle their doctors. And the person who said that simply said that because they thought that they had their doctors in the pocket. Therefore, hao wengine hamjui kuweka wenu kwa mfuko, mimi niweka wangu kwa mfuko. So we came to the same hotel, and we removed the ones that were in the pocket, and from that moment, everything changed. We started moving. That is why we have been able to revive the union in Kirinyaga. Let's see, how many doctors are here from Kirinyaga? Inweni tumukono tuwaone, madaktari wa Kirinyaga? Yes. Those ones are representing the doctors of Kirinyaga, and we have them, most of them are consultants, and the one we are seeing. And the good thing, SG, is that this year, in the month of February, all our consultants were promoted to job group Q with effect from 5th February this year. We have also been promised that even those who have not been promoted, the promotion is underway. We know there was a lot of politics thereafter that, oh, the doctors are favored, those kind of things. But it's only that the doctors are fighting for their rights. So we chose to bring the AGM to Kirinyaga, first of all, to welcome them, and for them now to start feeling what is it that there is in the union. And that is the reason even we brought in the two speakers, one you heard yesterday and the one you have heard today, that have talked about matters related with human resource, isn't it? We had somebody who director human resource Muranga, and today we had Brother Olala guiding you or making you see where the union comes in and the strength of the union. Leaving Kirinyaga, we have had activities in all those other counties, and I want to believe that our secretary will report on them. But even as he does that, we will say that over that period of the last 3 years, we have managed to open job group S in all our counties. The most recent is Muranga County, which gave the doctors, more than 10 doctors, job group S this month. Nyeri had given us their job group S's last year, at the beginning of last year, and that is the reason why the governor was not very happy during the strike to see his doctors participate in strike, because he said, we have promoted everybody. Then what is it? He was asking the SG, what is it that you have done wrong? And we said, doctors are doctors countrywide. So even if you promoted them this morning, as long as all the other doctors are on strike, you guys also have to join the others. Having said that, we have a kind of ranking that we have done for the counties as per their performances. We have one county that we have done very retro, because once we get there and we talk, there's efficiency on both sides. We just move. We just find things moving. We agree on most matters. This is a county of Nyandarua. So, in that case, we have ranked Nyandarua as our county number 1 in performance. Then we have, sorry? Go again. Yeah. Let us see the county liaison for Nyandarua. Yeah. He has been very, very instrumental. Every time we need communication there, he does it physically and he communicates back to us. And when we organize for meetings, he has never missed a meeting, despite the fact that he's a registrar, which means he's coming all the way from Nairobi to Nyandarua. Yeah. Our second county is Murang'a. Our second county is Murang'a. Murang'a, we agree on all matters, and they do not even delay our meetings. We ask them for a meeting. Sometimes we can ask for a meeting, and they give us a meeting when we do not expect. So we find ourselves there. The governor has even reached before us, and is asking us what are the issues. We even had dates. We are going to employ more people. We even had a date. The date, because they had very required to employ people, and we had done everything. But when the day approached, we went for the meeting, but they cancelled the meeting only 1 hour before the meeting. We became angry. We told our members said, hata kazi kwanza ikae kidogo, kwa sababu hata mishahara mmechelewa kutulipa. And out of it, with Kmpdu at the moment, the drugs, because the vehicle is even known. Yeah? But nobody is getting arrested. Yeah? So here county, iko hapo. It has been a performing county, but it's now going down, although we know that they can change the trend. Our county number 5 is Kirinyaga County. Yes, of course, you know the reason. You know we have 2 sets of doctors. We have the doctors that were sacked in 2019, that we are in court with them. We have had court cases, so many court cases. I don't know how many they are by now. They have exhausted our finances, yeah, because of that. We also have now the other set of the doctors that were hired. So we have 2 sets. We have those who are also have now the other set of the doctors that were hired. So we have 2 sets. We have those who are working and those who are out. And now that we are talking with them, so that is why we have more fights with them. But we hope that will be rectified. Yeah. I'm being told to mention something, but let's see. We are doing a lot of communication, and we have an assistant for Kirinyaga, because we know that there's a time. We have 2 other counties without governors. One of them is Jomo Kenyatta University, of which we have an issue with them. And this is why we have not ranked them, because, yes, they agreed that they have, all the people they have employed are doctors. The lecturers they have are all doctors. As per required rates, they have given them the allowances based on job group P, whereas our scheme of service does not allow consultants to be in job group P. Hapo tumeshika where they are. We have an issue with them, and we are going to labor on Tuesday with them. We have had some other meetings before, but we are hoping that with your prayers, members, we are going to succeed on that. Let's see the counter liaison for JKUAT. Yeah, that is Dr. Wafula, and Dr. Wafula quite often is assisted by Dr. Akech. Dr. Akech, wacha tuwekone. Our last kid in the block is Mwai Kibaki. We haven't had the first meeting, but we're having the first meeting with the CEO on Wednesday. That is 2nd of, is it 3rd of April? Yeah, on 3rd of April. We have only one doctor who came to represent Ogo, Hatumuoni, but we were with him yesterday, so we can see all our areas were well represented. So the only county that I've not mentioned, the CLOs, is only the county that is moving down rather than moving up. And as a result of that, we have, first of all, the CLO that was there requested to be given an assistant. We gave him, in the last AGM, we allowed them to have an assistant, and they got an assistant. After a few months, he requested to take a sabbatical leave. We granted it. Then the assistant asked for an assistant. Then it was, how do you have an assistant getting an assistant? We said that is not practical. And therefore, he also asked for a sabbatical leave. So in that county, we have no county liaison. And for those people who are there, lazima sasa mjue na nyinyi vile mutajipanga. That is how we are SG. That is how our counties are. And I think I've given a reasons to why even that ranking was done. The ranking was based on, the evaluation that we have done is based on doctors' population ratio for per county, salary payment on time, deduction and remittances, quality of politics per county. And we are saying this because, as you have heard, those counties where drugs are stolen before reaching the hospitals, it is the issue that politicians are using to. So we have more doctors in Murang'a than we had before. Of our concern is the recruitment in Nyeri, which has gone down. I don't know whether, actually doctors have resigned, many doctors have resigned in Nyeri. That is the reason why Nyeri will reduce their ADC delegates by 1, because they have lost like 20 doctors. So that's another concern, another area of concern, which needs to be addressed. Having said that, I would wish we welcome our SG to address us and open this meeting officially so that we can go into the ADC related matters. Tusimame tuibe solidarity forever as we welcome the SG. Who is the soloist? Olala is here with us.
Okay, I don't know whether the voice would come clear, but then we hold hands and then we use the volume, a nicer volume. 1, 2, 3. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever. Aloud, solidarity forever. When the union makes us strong again, solidarity forever. Kwa sauti, solidarity forever. Oh, solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Solidarity.
Olala, brother, you must give us the stanza.
You have to start it from fresh.
Give us the stanza. When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet whose force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one, but the union makes us strong. Solidarity, solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. Thank you so much, Gidenji and the Central Branch. You know, I think it's only this branch that has so many investors that are always invited during AGMs. I'm saying this because I've been lucky enough to attend all the AGMs for Central Branch. I even missed my graduation ceremony yesterday, but apparently I've arrived here. So that tells you how Central has been very important. It also means that the people from Central are not in any way going to smell poverty anytime. Because the caliber of investors that are going to give you 17.5% are not very many. If you are in SACCOs, SACCOs give people 8%. If you are in the government bills and bonds, I think it's even much lesser. So I believe they will not just be here to make themselves richer as HFC and other Olin and other institutions, but they'll be able to make us rich. Having said that, I want to take this as a great privilege and an honor for me as DAVJI and as for the union, because Central Branch has led with a very good tradition of ensuring that they have physical AGMs every single year, which marks 4 years. But then, amidst that, we are also confused whether we are having our elections next year as 4th year in office, the 5th year in office, or we are going to have elections after 2 years or after 3 years. I'm saying this because we had election in 2021, but that did not stop the union from running. We had also election in 2022, but the union was running, and we had registration in 2023. So we are not sure whether we have been in office for 2 years officially or for 4 years. But I believe when that conversation comes at its time, we will have it discussed. Brothers and sisters, comrades, one thing I want to affirm to you, that last year, at such a time when we were having our national strike, I was at the branch AGM, where when I was telling all of us that we have issues that we had put to government that needed to be implemented, most of them were looking like dreams. And I remember many people talked about it, many people said so many things. But that's how strikes are done, and you have experienced that. You go for it, but you may not like the face of the government or the face of the individuals, but you have to sit down with them, negotiate, protect the jobs, and get things done. As I speak today, the interns that are currently in post in all the 47 counties are getting paid as per the CBA. They were all paid their arrears. There are those months of August, September, November and December, where they were paid 41,000. All those arrears were paid in the month of February. That tells you that when we go out to fight, we fight to win. So we won for the interns, and I know that that's not enough. They may try again this year. They may try again next year. They may try in the next 5 years. So we should not lower our guards on that issue of internship. Because every time they come to attack, you may think they're attacking the interns, but I can tell you, it is always a way to reduce us to beggars and to dignify the profession. So that's one thing that we talked about as a promise last year, a promise that even the interns did not believe could take place, but we succeeded. Another thing that we came out to discuss during the last strike was the issue of basic salary arrears. Doctors, I know you know this, that even in that AGM of last year, nobody knew how much he or she was owed by the government. Even today, when we talk about these monies, most of people were able to see it because Kmpdu provided that data. It means we work in a different way. The same way you didn't know how much you are owed is the same way the government didn't know how much they owe you. Every doctor's pay slips from 2017 to 2024. So we had each doctor, be it Mutuku, be it Moura, be it any doctor, as long as you are in IPPD, we had your data with your pay slips. Then we compare that month of July, each month, we compare with what was to be paid in the CBA. That's how we came with 3.518 billion for the counties and the 1 billion for the national government. So when we presented this to government, and Dr. Gidenji is part of that team, you're clap for Gidenji. Because I'm saying that because this work, and I'm happy that Gidenji is not so old and neither so young. So because of that, he could talk at home and take leave. Not leave from work, but leave from home. And he had to stay in Nairobi with the team. It was a day and night work for I think almost 1 month. Because they were staying in apartments. So from that point, we had the figures. So when we presented to government, and we told them, if you feel these figures are not right, give us yours. And that's why this was adopted by COG and by the national government. That's how the 7-year salary arrears for basic salary that could not be unraveled was unraveled by the union and has been paid. Because this money is accounted for each and everyone per head, it then means that if somebody died, If somebody left duty, somebody got transferred from either county to another county or to the ministries or to any other job, there's a period that you worked. So we made it clear, because these are personal emoluments. If it's not paid to you, then it will go back somewhere. We don't know where. So we insisted that after people were paid, we had 1,200 doctors who some transferred, some were in banks that could not have IFMIS number. So this has been the work that has been ongoing from now, January, to I think last week, where we have been able to at least reach 90%, 95% of those doctors who are not paid. So if you had passed on, we try to get your next of kin. If you're transferred, we'll go back to payroll and look for your data. You get paid through the payroll, they just get paid, the money just get transferred directly. And that will be done. From that point of arrears, I also want to say the doctors who are in the ministry, that's where we still have a bit of a problem, because whatever we have that is owed with what ministry has is in conflict. And we are planning a retreat for another almost 15 days to resolve that. The other part of it, if you get paid this money, you must have realized that you only paid for half the amount. There's a balance that is remaining. We agreed, and it is now in the budget, that this money will be paid in the current financial year, that is August, July. The other part of it that's also very important is that money being on the pay slip. That also is going to be there this year, July, August. But as we always say, it may look good, rosy, and promissory. But I can tell you, we may come back to you and tell you, oh, these guys are playing. Yes, I've seen the money in the budget. Yes, we wrote to Treasury, we wrote to COG, we've been following up because it's a court order. But I can tell you, the government, just like any other employers, always do everything to ensure that you're not paid your money. So it requires us to come out strongly with a resolve, with the decisions to tell them, no, you can play with any money, but not our money. I want to also bring it very closely because I know all of us understand this. One thing that is very important, one reason why Wafula and Akech probably are lecturers and not most of us, is because they had a career progression. And the union cannot exist when interns are not respected, when our salaries delay, and when there's no career progression. Those are three things that are very key for a union. And that's the entire work that we do, revolve only on those three matters. Because your promotions is just on wages. Everything else is on those three aspects. So career progression is very key. But I want to tell you from 2020, the government stopped paying fees for postgraduate. This also was an issue which was in our strike of last year. During the strike, they had allocated 200 million and paid fees for those who are not being paid for, from I think 2021, 2022, going forward, that period. Again, this year, they paid for about 78 doctors who now joined last year, 2023 and 2024. They have also budget, they're saying, for about 400 million to pay for these fees. So that tells you that without our action last year, without our resilience, without that strike, we will still be talking about fees not paid. They will not be paying fee and not budgeting for it. But now they're budgeted. That's why we say that if you are in a county and you are qualified to go for postgraduate training, you need to go knowing very well that your fee will be paid and your salaries will be paid from the counties. But as a doctor, you must also play your role. We have seen in the lists that the many doctors go for postgraduate training. But then they just leave. They make some internal arrangements. You have discussed with your colleagues and you proceed for postgraduate training. There's no bonding letters. There's no rebate. Neither his salary is not getting paid. They're getting done. But there's a lot of postgraduates that is self-sponsored, that we refuse to sign the return to work formula at KCC because we had indicated it must be marked that they'll be remunerated. And this was done. We wrote to Ministry of Health, to the University of Nairobi, and Moi University, so that we will see if they're doing more than 40 hours. Because I know many of the lecturers say that it is impossible to have 40 hours in surgery. Or some of those courses, it's impossible to have those 40 hours. We know that it is impossible. But our aim is not the impossibility. Our agenda with this ask or with this demand is to see that the self-sponsored are being remunerated. So then, that's why we made the 40 hours, so that this impossibility can be worked out. So we ask these doctors, give us the routers that you've done excess hours, so that we can make the court, we can push the court to make the ministries and the universities comply to pay the extra hours as per the council's rates. But we have not gotten any doctor who has given us the data of the extra hours they're doing. When we took University of Nairobi a demand letter last month, the VC wrote back to the union that we have complied with your return to work formula. So in their compliance, they did not indicate whether they have complied with 40 hours or they're still doing the 60 hours and paying the registrars. So we are still again asking, it is only possible to act in court. It is only possible to push for payment of registrars. It's only viable and to make it a right for registrars to access healthcare if they also come out and make it their duty. Because we believe that any injustice being made to them, we must push it back. The last thing on this self-sponsored register that is very key, if today you want to go to Nairobi and there's a bus or a mat going to Nairobi, you can't say this bus is not taking me to Nairobi without boarding it. You have to board it. The only way to reach Kisumu with Easy Coach is you must board the Easy Coach. So there's no way the union will be able to do any litigation on a self-sponsored registrar or any person unless you've boarded the bus. Because we tried with KEMSA doctors to go to court and they were not paid up, and the judge dismissed the case on the same date it was filed. So we came to realize that being a member is key in being protected. Doctors, all these achievements that I'm talking about here, all these things that I'm putting forth are things that are not done by the leaders. They are being done by the strong membership. One thing that I've learned over these years is that Kmpdu is respected, not only because of its leadership, but because of its members who have a resolve and make a decision and take actions, and in no way are ready to beg. We have seen doctors who have been on contracts paid 80,000 like in KNH. We tried they were paid from 2018 well to 2024. Trust me, brothers and comrades, Nairobi County tried to solve that problem. The branch tried, the Kenyatta doctors tried to resolve this particular problem. I had a meeting with the CEO of the hospital severally, but it did not work. This thing only worked when all the doctors in Kenya took action and said enough is enough and went on strike. The strike of 2024 actually changed the contracts of these doctors from 80,000 to 300,000. Because then when the hospital was saying they don't have budget, we said no, we can't go back to work when our doctors in KNH are earning less. And therefore Treasury had to release money. That tells you the power of unity. By the time we ended the strike, the letter of no objection that SRC had refused to release for so many years for MTRH was released, not because of MTRH, but because of the joint action of all of us. The same way to KTRH. So I can tell you, that is the same thing that happened in this county where we are today. And what happens in Kirinyaga is not in any way dissimilar with what has been happening in Laikipia. When the employers came down and said, segregated this county from the entire union, where they said they fired a particular number of doctors, and then left with CC, she said she has no problem in her county, and the doctors there are not on strike. We had to come and talk to our doctors to be on strike. The next meeting, she was looking for solution. These doctors will tell you they have been promoted and there's no engagement in the county. So it happened because of the national action, because of the unity that we profess nationally. The matter of those doctors who were fired, yes, individually we may get tired. I know many people are saying it has been a long process. It's been a long process because we've handled more than 14 cases in Kirinyaga. As we speak today, we were to have a judgment last week over another appeal that they had put to stay our contempt proceedings against the county. We cannot do contempt against the governor. We are doing directly on the board and the county secretary. So they went on stay. The judgment is supposed to come this week, but the lawyer just informed me that it's coming on 25th of April. If the judge gives stay, they will have to wait. But if they don't get that stay, then I can tell you we'll have solved the issue of Kirinyaga in the same way we resolve the issue of Laikipia. Yes, they take time, because that is the nature of injustice. But it is all our unity that actually brings the changes. The new front that has come, that Kidenji was speaking about, is Kiambu. And things are deteriorating at a very fast speed. And the blame on that county, I will not give it to the leadership, neither will I give it to the doctors. But the county has succeeded for some time now. And why am I saying they've succeeded? They've succeeded because when the leadership in the branch tried to call for a meeting, they are not responding. And they're not responding because they were able to intimidate the doctors in Kiambu by asking them to pick Shoko's letters, and everybody felt like they're going to be fired tomorrow. So once they succeeded in that, then they have no business talking to the union. There's no bargaining power that you have. So to me, the remedy for Kiambu is to have a Kiambu meeting to make the doctors know that the moment they are not united about the issues that they are demanding, then they'll be beggars. Once that is done, we can now have a strike in Kiambu. We need to show the governor that those hospitals can be closed down and that they can intimidate the doctors there, none returns to work. And it will work. That will give the leadership the power to negotiate. By the way, doctors, it is impossible for me to make a call to the CS, to the ministers, or to the government if you can't strike. The power that leadership holds is fully dependent on the membership. That when you're called to action, you take action. So when you tell them, if you don't do this and this, then we will make this happen. That's what now we are losing in Kiambu, because doctors there are a bit intimidated by the recent actions. So our solution there is to look at how do we make things work. It is not in any way different with what we've experienced in Kakamega, where Kakamega also, county was not responding, but doctors there now have resolved that they're going to take action. So we did just the same thing, declare dispute, the same way we've done with JKUAT and also with Kiambu and other counties. But it's for the first time, I think, also last year and this year, that the Ministry of Labor wrote to us yesterday saying Kakamega counties are not responsive, and therefore Kmpdu can proceed on strike. This is a letter received from the Ministry of Labor, indicating that the meeting that they have called more than twice, the county did not turn up. What that means is that if we call for strike in Kakamega tomorrow and proceed on strike, there is no court in this country that will listen to the county. That means they will have to resolve the issues. I saw JKUAT a bit more responding, and if they were not attending meetings, they give letters. That's a positive thing. But still, at the end of the day, we need to know that the only thing we can use to bargain are our skills. So when it becomes very hard that the employer doesn't listen, like in Kiambu, I mean, I'll follow that governor, and his fellow governors are saying it's very hard to find. Yeah. I've gone to one of the committees that he leads in Naivasha, another one in Kajiado. He cannot be found. We take actions for this particular county. Also, I want to say, as a union, in the 4 years that we've been in office, we have diligently, having served as branch leaders, sent branch allocations to these branches. One thing that is different is that we have a date, we have a system in the union, that every 15th of the month, between 15th to 16th, there are branch allocations to every county. The only time that there are no monies that are sent to the counties is a month that precedes annual delegate conference, like now the month of April. But Dr. Bill convinced me this morning to talk with the finance team that the branch allows for April to come, then May to support the delegates. So we have our annual delegate conference coming up on 9th to 11th of May 2025. We are asking you to come and participate. I was sharing something with the leadership, that we've been having particular faces every single delegate conference. But you see, one delegate represents 20 membership. Yes, it's good to have active membership. But when you're in a county, let's say in Muranga, and there are 10 people who are interested to attend, 10 people are interested to attend, and 4 of them attended last year, it is good to also give priority to those who have not attended. But I will also say, the leadership that is from the liaisons, the hospital reps, those must always be given priority because they always put their life in front in fighting for the membership. That's what I will ask of you. Doctors, as I finalize this talk, I've seen DAVJI ranking the counties. And you've seen in that process of ranking, the liaison has been talked about to be very responsive, going to the county and taking MAT and whether it's driving to that place. The truth is, in this union work, just like in the hospital, you cannot have a patient in the hospital and then the patient is there for a number of days and then he leaves the hospital that is now okay. This patient must be treated. You must diagnose the patient, you must get the drugs for this particular patient, and the patient must be treated to get out. That's the same way the union works. There's nothing that will happen in Kiambu, in Kirinyaga, in Laikipia, or nationally in this union if there's no work that is put. That's why I'm telling you the leadership are putting their foot down to make things work. And we as membership must in all way, the way we did last year, when we are called for action this year, must be ready to put our foot down to make things work. So that the achievements that we have is not for a particular individual. They're achievement for the organization. And that's how we'll build this union to a greater height. Thank you.
Thank you, Daktari. Could we give another hand clap for that? I think we've had some really good reports there. Do we have any reactions to what Dr. DAVJI has just given us? Any comments? Any questions? Yeah. Anything that you need clarity on? Yeah, there at the back. Daktari, pale nyuma.
Thank you very much, SG, for the wonderful speech. I really applaud the union for the achievements they have done in Central Branch. My only concern is you've mentioned that the registrar's fees have been paid for 2023-2024. What happened to the cohort between 2020 and 2022?
Okay. Doctor, you've had the question. Is there another one? Maybe we can combine them. Here, Dr. Wafula. So your question is the registrar's cohort 2020 to 2022. Okay.
Thank you, SG. This is Dr. Wafula from JQuat. JQuat hired recently a number of doctors who are working previously in counties. And when these basic salary arrears were being paid, they've not been paid. So they are asking me, can you maybe shed some light on exactly when to expect this money? They had submitted their details. Thank you.
Okay. We can take one last one, and then, sorry, 3 more, yeah? Buka. Any more reactions? Or do we deal with those ones first? Yani mko sawa. You guys are a happy lot. There you go.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Daktari, for that discussion. So my question, actually, I was discussing with Daktari. We've seen that there is a lot of incoming clinician courses. Of course, even the orthopedic part of them, they're also even doing some surgeries, leave alone the reproductive part of it. How is the union handling it, and how do you go about that? Thank you.
Okay. We're taking them down. You can have one more or two more. Then they are all responded to at the same time. Hata kama ni kusifu union, pia hiyo ni reaction. Si hata mseme areas, tulifurahia areas, something.
Good afternoon again. I don't know about the other counties, but for Kmpdu County, once we had our, let me call it go-slow last year, and even before that, the union fees were not being deducted. So I would like clarity on that. The county stopped deducting the union fees, so I wanted to know what was the progress with that, and if the counties are going to proceed with deducting and remitting the union fees for members.
All right, the last one. Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So for me is, I still have an issue with harmonization of the pay scale across the job groups, across the personal numbers. I'm at 2012, and I check my colleagues wako, I'm a pharmacist. Mi bado niko senior pharmacist. My colleagues we joined with the service wako assistant chief pharmacist, deputy chief pharmacist. Why can't the union do a letter and address this? I'm sure even the MOs and the dentists also have an issue with that. For how long shall we keep complaining about this? When do we get the harmonization done in the right way? Kama saa hizi niko na machungu sana. Mimi nimedemotiwa jana. Kmpdu na maposting orders Friday.
Yes.
Mimi nimekuwa mashinani huko Gatundu North. I've done my best, like I've made sure the sub-county iko sambamba. But jana nilijipata niko Thika level 5 as a senior pharmacist. Hivyo tu, yani hivyo tu, hata sijalala. Niko na mauchungu, yani nasikia kupunch mtu, but ni sawa tu. So, now that I'm back at the window at the pharmacy, amba huko ward nikifanya infectious diseases, whatever consultation and what have you, can I get in the right job group? Please. Abana. It's too much.
Okay, we can take one last one from Dr. there.
Good afternoon. Would like to thank the union for the work that it has been doing, especially with this government of the day. My only question to you, DAVJI, is matters payslip. We have SHA-SHIF, yeah? And we have that housing levy. Yeah, that's those two scams. Ini payslip yangu, I am working. I will never, ever get to live in that house unless I buy it. Why am I being deducted that money? Number two, SHA-SHIF, we are having a lot of issues with everybody. In Nyeri, we had an issue where I have a family, I go to hospital. If I don't have backup insurance, unafika pale unapata, you have not been remitted the funds. How do we take care of this issue of comprehensive insurance cover for healthcare workers? What is the union's position about those two deductions? Because that is a lot of money. I might as well buy pig or chicken feed for my animals. Yeah?
Yeah. Very well said. Thank you.
You'll take one last one. The last one.
Sorry, maybe just an issue concerning Kirinyaga, which is hosting this event, is regarding doctors who are engaged on contractual terms. Can there be a firm position adopted by the union at a national level that every doctor who is engaged on contractual terms is informed in writing regarding their service gratuity? That's number one. And number two, just like we push for the withheld basic salary arrears, can there be a push for payment of all withheld service gratuities, especially to doctors who in Kirinyaga who have never received a cent, despite being eligible to renew their contracts for the third time this July? Thank you.
Okay, maybe before Doc you answer, he'll answer and then we have a very short program after that. So hold on, ndio tukimaliza tunaenda tu, si ndio? Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'll start with the last question. On the issue of contracts, if also you read the return to work formula of last year, we negotiated and agreed to harmonize all terms of doctors' engagements across the country. And we followed it up with actions. If you look at like Kmpdu County, which was trying to hire doctors at 100,000 shillings, we changed that to full salaries as per CBA and PNP. Nakuru tried the same, and we pushed back with the same. Elgeyo Marakwet in the same breath. But uniquely, Nairobi also tried the same, and we saw after the strike that they had to employ like 200 of them. Now, your issue is almost similar with Nairobi, which currently is on strike. Gratuity for the 200 doctors. You know, we talked with them, dialogue, strike, and then they were put in the right terms. But now the strike that's ongoing is on how their gratuity will be paid. But I want to say something very interesting about Kirinyaga. When we were in court in the month of January, the county government presented the reason why they could not reinstate the doctors was that the current doctors that they have on their pay slips are on permanent and pensionable terms. That is a court document that they presented. So we challenge them in court and say, no, they need to provide evidence showing that all these doctors are in permanent and pensionable terms. So I believe that in that process, it's easier through that channel to actually make these teams that are there to be in that PNP, I believe. Because we were giving evidence that they are not in PNP with the lawyer, Nelco. So that's something that is in existence that we've been discussing in the court. The other thing is, we need to look at your contracts. Did they indicate gratuities? Or did they not indicate gratuities? Because every employee has entitled for gratuity. And some employers would deliberately not put it, but then you commit yourself by signing. Because one of the reasons why we've been able to change contracts is to prove to a county or to an employer that yes, you can employ like KNH. We said, fine, you have these doctors on contract for the 3 years, but every 3 years pay them the gratuity before you renew. That's what, when they feel like contract is more expensive than the PNP. That's what we've done for MTRH in the last strike this month of February. So that is the same way. We may not need to strike for Kirinyaga, but we must be able to show that they're lying to court, that you are on PNP and you're on contract on one point, and see how to make sure that they pay us the gratuity. But if they didn't try it, we have to look at the legality of the same process. But I think the branch has taken it up, we also taking it up, we'll act on it. The issue of SHA and housing levy, Mutuku, just like everybody else, you must know that the first organization to come out openly in 2023 to oppose Social Health Authority Bill was Kmpdu. Openly. Then we didn't stop there. We actually went to court against SHA and other bills, and we won. Then we got a stay. That's why it was delayed implementation. They went to Court of Appeal. It was last year, I think, August, when the court said that it's unconstitutional and they need to have 120 days to sit with us and resolve it, they went again to Court of Appeal and that was quashed. So there's no any union that has spoken against SHA that Kmpdu. We came out very strongly. your strike action again made this to change. So now, that committee had to sit down last year, and now they approved the current lot that they paid for fee. Again, they were able to pay for those that were approved before, like in 2020. So this lot of, like in 2019, so this lot of 2020 to the current 2022, the committee has not sat on them. So they have not been approved. So in our meeting, in our discussions, the government, the Ministry of Health, moved the issue of training from the medical services to, and we had an agreement that all this lot has to be, mechanism has to be brought up for their fees to be paid, because they have the budget. But then they say that they have to go down to counties and confirm that actually these are people who are released from each and every county before they commit to pay these fees. So yes, your fees will be paid, it's in the discussion. But by the time that all these things are being done, there are no fees that were being paid. So they'll be paid as part of the discussion. And I must tell you again, you must give yourself another accolade, that without the strike actions, without our joint forces, that was the things that had already been struck out. The issue of task shifting and this other cadre is coming up. I mean, guys, I was doing my master's, which I think should be taking 3.5 years, 4 years, but I took it for 8 years. Huh? I did it for 8 years. For a long time, I was laughing at Oluga because he did a 3-year course in 5 years. Then I was laughing at Mr. Keller on his graduation. Like, I think it's 2 years ago, he did his master's, which was 4 years in 7 years. So I was like, how do you take so long to do the postgraduate? But then I realized that I've taken a cup, I've taken trophy for having done it for 8 years. The reason that happens, why this happens, is there's no shortcut. There's no way you'll prove to these people that, I'm a politician, I can lobby for things in parliament. In fact, some of the reasons why you get. So there's no shortcut. There's no way a clinical officer, even if he does PhD being a clinical officer, will be a doctor. There's no way amount of lobbying that they'll do in parliament that will change. There's no way a cohort, I saw the council trying to equate them with the dentists, there's no way it's going to change if they don't go to class and work. The same way to the farm techs. So we put it out very clearly that in this scope of practice, that's one thing that made us feel pain when Deborah left ministry. We were with her at the deputy president's last month when in a joint meeting there were CEOs, nurses and everybody. And the CEOs were pushing to be allowed to do this SHA and to be a panel for SHA. And then she stood up and said, we're in the process of allowing the clinical officers to handle primary health care in level 1 to 3. Then she said, Your Excellency, you must also know, they must also know that there's scope of practice. She said that in that meeting. And you see, they say scope of practice is scope of practice. We can't allow quackery to do what they have not studied to do because somebody has sneaked something in the Act of Parliament. That was the stand of the CS. And in such forums as the Deputy President's place or in cabinet, it's the CS who speaks. You may know many things as individual, but CS speaks. So if you get a politician like Duale, or anyone else who doesn't understand there's something like a scope, he has to go and Google and define, there's a problem. You get my point? Or like Nakumicha, who will say interns are students and go convince the president, and then the president buys it because he also doesn't know, it's a problem. That's why we were in pain when the doctor left that position. But we believe that there's DG there, we believe there's Oluga there, we believe that there's Matindechero there. But I want to tell you, they will not protect you. The person who will protect you is yourself and our unity here. I'm saying this because you may have forgotten, by the strike of 2021 or 24, the doctors in the ministry came out on live TV to say interns are students, when even themselves they went to these services. Because at that point, he who pays the piper plays, and that's what happens. So if you believe they'll sort you out and then you forget your problems here, then it doesn't happen. We have to make them actually do the right thing by calling them out when we can and by taking actions when we can. So this thing of tax shifting, we again are the ones who are training the clinical officers and all these people. So we must really, we must be bold and put clear information on this. Yes, sometimes as union we don't, because we say we are workers, all of us, but we must be strong to defend the professions. The last one was, I think, on my sister. I was almost forgetting yours, and it's very important. Because even me, I'm not happy. Yeah. That emotion has come with a lot of pain. That whenever I was seated there, I was almost falling down. I was feeling the pain. So if you live here, one thing you should know, that the SG is in as much pain and trauma as you over this demotion, because it's not necessary. You're from which county? Kmpdu. Yeah, Kmpdu, whatever you're experiencing now is the tip of iceberg. I may tell you that. You are going to experience more unless we organize ourselves and take action. I'm not lying to you. I'm not lying to you because I'm not in the business of lying. Yeah? I'm not in the business of lying. And these leaders you see here will not help you. We cannot help you. We have to all take actions and stand together. So it calls your pain that you're feeling today, the pain of another doctor that he is feeling, and the frustration until you have a meeting like this and say, no. What is it? What is the value of being a pharmacist in this place when I can be demoted by one call? What is the value of being a doctor or a surgeon in this facility when my salary can be stopped and I'm not paid for this period? But I must also emphasize this. When Kmpdu doctors went on that go slow, because the salaries had not been paid for months, then the county gave shockers letters and they went to pick. There are a number of doctors, around, how many? 47, who didn't pick their letters, whose salaries were stopped. The 47 were frustrated, while the other 200 something were back to work. So the county did not feel any need to resolve this. When we were going on strike of December, that was one of our agenda. The Kmpdu doctors, they were reinstated, not because that county took action. It's because we presented their issue at the CBA meeting. And that's when the deputy president again called the governor to reinstate them, the 47 of them. I get that point. But as long as we can say this problem is for 5, the 10 of us are okay, or 20 of us are okay, oh, we are going to have problems. Because that's also what happened in Laikipia. That is what happened in Kirinyaga. In Laikipia, when you call for a strike and the county threatened, managers and doctors from Nyahururu went back to work. The rest who didn't go were fired because there was no unity. So we must start with people feeling dissatisfied and frustrated, and we must have the conversation in Kmpdu where every doctor finds the need to what happened in Australia. Do you know what happened in Australia? I was in Australia last week. I was having a meeting with doctors. They were benchmarking from us how to go on strike. It was South Wales state. I was there for 4 days. But one fundamental thing is that, it was a room like this. There were 250 doctors. Out of these 250, about 195 were psychiatrists. So all the other states, the salaries are paid well, except here. They're all white, by the way. So I told them what we do here, we go on strikes, we leave the hospitals. But they were not finding the need to do that. Huh? But they're planning a strike. They're planning a strike. But they're more radical. I found them to be more radical than us. Because when I said it must be within you to feel the dignity that you want, that you must be ready to lose everything for the right things to be done. all the psychiatrists who are being paid less in the New South Wales state compared to Queensland and the rest resigned. You know, they left and all of them resigned. You know what that means? That the state has to now bargain with them on the wages that they want. You get what I'm trying to say? They say we're not going to go on strike, but they're planning strike, yes. But before that strike is done, we all going to take actions, and they all resigned. That was last week. And now they're going to get what they want. Because all of them resigned, not part of them. The same thing we have to do in Kmpdu and other places. We must all be ready to lose everything. And being ready to lose everything, we must mean it. You don't just threaten. When we say we're ready to lose our lives for action, you actually have to be ready. You have to say, okay, I have this family, I'm ready to move to the village. You must be ready to really lose it. That's when the counties will actually do the right thing. So we are coming there. And also, lastly, I think I like talking a lot, but I'm not a politician. Yeah. I'm not a politician, neither am I a student of politics. Lastly, I want just to say is the harmonization of pay slips. Githinji, Maura, and all these organizing secretary, Bill, Brenda, all these branch leaders will do whatever they can do. But when the promotion is called for, you need to submit your documents. Do your part so that all of us can get what is needed for the organization. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I think that's well said. That's well said. So now we move to the next segment, which is our last segment for today. Then we break away for lunch. So I'll invite Dr. Maura Caroline to give us the audited report, which is already, I think we had already sent that to the groups. So I hope everyone has gone through it. We're just perusing through it since we cannot change an audited document. And then she'll give us a budget in the next 10 minutes, and then we finish this. Is that okay? All right. Dr. Maura.
Good afternoon, Dr. Rees. Gosh, good afternoon. It's not a good afternoon. So we go to the next bit. I'm the treasurer, and we are going to, we are looking at how healthy our branch is financially. So you be the judge. Sorry, I am not a mechanical engineer, sijui hizi vitu. So we shared the audited reports of the year 2024, and I hope you went through. We also had a team of we had our internal audit team, and we incorporated a few doctors from the county to give us, maybe to ask questions. And we also had the auditor with us during the online meeting in the last week. So I'll ask for a proposer. Dr. Alice Maina proposes. A seconder. Dr. Irongo. Yes, they were present during the presentation of the audited accounts. So I'd just like to give you a brief breakdown of your 3,000. Every time we call you for an AGM, you tell us, you give us your 3,000. So we don't know whether it's the 3,000 which should attend the AGM. But out of the 3,000, 1,000 is remitted to the branch. 1,000 goes to the national office. 500 shillings goes to the development fund. 350 shillings goes to benevolence fund, and 150 goes to KOTU. So that makes your 3,000. One of the benefits of being a Kmpdu member is a fallback document. So we'll go to the audited accounts. Oh, sawa. So we'll do away with that part. Then we go to the Kmpdu Central Branch 2025 work plan and budget. So for every item projected there, so yes, this is the budget. It's the proposed budget for the year 2025. So we are still working on the exact member numbers in our branch. Some counties are not very keen on sharing information, but we are getting to that. So our total estimated number is 800 doctors who should give the branch 9.6 million in 12 months. Partnerships, we expect to work a little harder. By the way, members, we want you to own the AGM. We want you to own the union activities. And this is an appeal that for the next activities that we plan for the year, that you participate actively, looking for partnerships. It's really difficult, but I know together we can do much more. So we expect to, with your help, to raise at least 2.2 million to be able to meet our budget. So the total budget, I'm sorry, there was supposed to be a correction there, because it was amounting to 12.1 million in total. So from partnerships, we expected to raise at least 2.5 million. So in the work plan that we prepared, we expect to spend 3.1395 million on activities which are member-centered. We have listened to you, and you have said that the bulk of the budget should actually go to the members, at least a significant amount, and with your help, we'll be able to achieve that. So for standing allowances and communication for the whole year, for the branch executive committee, that one is usually 3.22 million. We have rent, 222,720 Kenya shillings. Office expenses, 200,000. Unpaid 2024 activity allowances, 1.06 million. So at this point, I think I'd like to let you know that our allowances are paid up to up to March, as at December 2024, our allowances were paid up to the month of March. So as we speak right now, our allowances are almost at the 1 year mark. So the activities that we carried out last year for the strike and every other meeting that we had, we have pending allowances of 1.067 million. We have Kirinyaga legal fees. We have had 14 legal engagements with Kirinyaga County, and the national office appealed that we help them pay the legal fee at 300,000 shillings. We have unpaid standing allowances and communication allowances for the year 2024, which is amounting to 2.4165 million. Then we have the secretariat salary for this year, which will amount to 960,000. Then miscellaneous of 0.5 million. So the total expenditure, if all goes well, is supposed to be 12.07772 million. And there's a correction there which should have been done so that they balance. So when you go to the work plan and the budget, we want to look at the activities that we are budgeting for. Okay, so we have planned the work plan for this year and envisions more doctor engagement in the counties so that people feel part of this community. Like Dr. DAVJI has emphasized, it is important that we own this union. It belongs to us, and it's what will take care of us and secure our jobs. So we need to know each other. There are all those activities. We need to clean up our doctor image in Kmpdu County. Kmpdu County has painted as thieves, and so on and so forth. We will share all this in your emails after this. So just a brief summary of my report. So our budget in 2024 envisioned activities which were, and allowances and expenditure which was amounting to 11.3 million. We spent 4,823,459 shillings. Allocations from national, we expected 9.6 million, but we got 4.573,459 shillings, which was a drop from last year. Last year we had about 7.4 million allocations from national. Unfortunately, during the 2-month strike, there was a lot of money consumed and our allocations were consumed in the process. There was also the month of the SDC. But we want to change all that. So even for the ADC this year, we are asking that we actively participate. If you have somebody who can sponsor, present them to us. And at this juncture, I want to appreciate HFC, who have proposal. Number one is non-remittance by the counties, which cite budget cuts and delays in disbursement from Treasury. So in this case, they just organize with the banks and you are paid your net salaries, but the deductions are not done and the remittances. That's why we are having problems even with SHIF. There are some new doctors who don't understand the need for union, despite all the effort that goes to improving our working conditions and our welfare. There are some doctors who have quit from employment. We particularly need to find out what is happening in Nyeri County. Quite a number of doctors have quit so far from Kmpdu County. And that's why we need to act. There are some county governments who have refused to deduct. And sometimes there's also the issue of death and transfers. So one of the solutions I was offering is for the hospital reps to help us map the doctors who are not our members. This one is with assistance from the county liaison officers who will convince them to sign up. Then we have the use of kamkunjis. We really hope to do quite a bit in this front. We will insist on the follow-up meetings with the counties. And of course, the point I have just emphasized, that we should all participate in sourcing funds for our activities. So with that, I want to thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Your budget.
Okay. Do we have someone to adopt the budget, a proposer? Dr. Florence proposes. Dr. Wandia seconds. Thank you so much.
Doc, there's a comment. There's a comment.
Good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to take this opportunity to commend you. That is a very good budget. My only worry is we keep talking about the national team supporting our branches. I think it's sad to see that our branch executive committee members have arrears for 1 year. We keep saying that these people are doing a very good job. I think it's about time the national team actually supports our branch executive committee members. Central Branch Executive Committee members are really working hard. We have a good chair. We have a very good secretary, a very good assistant, and a treasurer, and CLOs who are working hard. I think we should pay more attention to, I've never heard of the union having a registration drive. All these kamkunjis, goat eating, blah, 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 we can bundle them up in a registration drive. Do a countrywide drive, invite people for some nyamchom, bonfire, let people register, let people come together. I sit here today listening DAVJI speaking, and I'm like, wow, actually I understand what is happening in the union, but 1 out of 20 doctors. Can everyone get the feeling that we have felt? Yes. And this is me, and there are many others like me then. We need a drive. Tell young doctors why it is important to be represented under a union, what benefits it has. Be active in it so that you stop having people quitting, stop having people not remitting, and we'll have funds for sure. Yeah.
Thank you. That is very well noted. I think we can convert the Kamkunjis to be active registration membership points. Yeah.
Thank you, Daktari. I think now I'll invite, our last agenda is to select the delegates for the ADC in May, and I'll invite Dr. Muriuki to take us through that. As he does that, I think you should be thinking, Kirinyaga, who are your people? Kiambu, who are the people that you'd want to represent you in the ADC? Remember, one delegate represents 20 members, so you want someone that can speak for the 20 of you and speak for you clearly.
So this is the last agenda for this meeting. As you know, in May we have a 3-day annual delegates conference. Central branch, we normally get to send 31 delegates, but because SG is here and has heard what even our chairman has explained, this year we should be getting 36 slots. That's because of Mwai Kibaki and Kirinyaga. So what I want us to do in this forum, as the last thing, is we have come up with a list of names. And they are blank spaces. I want us to adopt a list. We can adjust it in the room if someone has a question, but then you will leave a few, we ask that we leave a few slots blank, and that's because eventually what usually happens is someone can be selected here, then it comes to May that weekend, they're not available. Another thing that usually happens is you look at the list, you realize it's either not balanced in terms of cadre, in terms of gender, in terms of region. So to allow for that, we will work with a 36 name list for people who will go to Mombasa. And I will present the names we've put forward. And if there are any issues, we can adjust those names, but let's leave the list at the end for balancing. Rose, is it possible to project the names? Okay. Even if as she works on projecting, I can start with Nyandarua County. Nyandarua County usually has 2 slots. That's because it has 48 doctors. Nyandarua County also has 2 officials. There's the liaison, Dr. Ngugi, and there's the vice chairman, Dr. Junius. So they are the ones that have always attended this delegates conference. And as you heard the GSA, we try to send a new face. So for this year, we wanted to send 3 people from Nyandarua. And we had suggested, we said, Dr. Ngugi, Dr. Junius, and Dr. Robert Wanjoy. Robert Wanjoy is a, I can see you saying gender. We look at gender holistically. So out of 36 names. Actually, the deadline for this, the GS can tell, is on Tuesday. So I'll have to look at the list as central, not as Nyandarua or one hospital. So Wanjoy is a great pillar of the union. He's from Engineer. A lot of the other doctors come from the bigger hospital, which is JM Karaoke. The other thing is a dentist. Both Ngugi and Twiga are MOs, registrars. So we thought we add Wanjoy, and I think if that's fine with everybody, I can move on to the next county. Okay. The next county is Nyeri. Nyeri has 5 slots, and the names we were proposing for this year, has 6 slots, sorry. The names we were proposing for this year are the following. Dr. Brenda Nyabuto, who's the county liaison. She's a registered dermatologist. The second person is Dr. Mwanamisi Mrutu, an OBGYN. She's here today from Mount Kenya. The third person is Dr. Wanza Mutuku. Wanza Mutuku is a registrar surgeon at the Nyeri County Referral Hospital, which is PGH. So, Flo, you see, those are 3 ladies. That's what I'm telling you. There's some thought that has gone into this. The fourth person is a gentleman who usually is very close to the union, Dr. Kenneth Irungu. We were thinking we go with you to Mombasa. Dr. Kenneth Irungu, even with our audit reports, whenever we get such things, we usually send them to him. He's very keen on maths issues. So if you see him proposing and opposing and supporting an audit report, just know that audit report is well put together. It's not, it's a clean audit report. So out of the 6 slots, we had 4 names. Brenda, Mwanamisi, Wanza, and Kenneth. We were proposing we leave the other 2 slots blank. I think if that's okay, I can move on to the next county. The next county is Kirinyaga. So Kirinyaga, for a long time, because it's not been in the union, we've been having problems taking any delegates. So this year, as we go to Mombasa, we want to send 3 delegates from Kirinyaga. And one is the liaison, Dr. Kamande. The other one is Dr. Muraguri, Alex. And the third one was Dr. Martin Mwaniki. Those are 3 gentlemen, Flo. But don't worry, you'll see where the balance. Kirinyaga only gets 3 slots, and honestly, we wanted to fill all of them. These are people who come for all meetings, have always been helping us sign up people. So as we go to Mombasa, if there's no objection, we wanted to use those 3 doctors as the representatives of the doctors of Kirinyaga. Of course, the list can change if someone is not available. Don't forget that, but at least if we adopt those names, we move forward with them. Murang'a. Murang'a County has actually 8 slots. The names we wanted to propose to go to Mombasa with us to join other doctors from the rest of the country are Dr. Arthur, who's the liaison, Ngunjiri, a pharmacist. We also have Dr. Munge, Benson. We have Dr. Miriam Kanja. And we also have Dr. Malit, the gentleman behind me. He's an official. So we wanted to leave the other 4 slots for Murang'a blank. We can fill them here, we can leave them, we can add, but those are slots for Murang'a that we can use to balance whatever is not working. Allow me to go to Kiambu. Oh yeah, hopefully what I'm saying is on the board. If not, probably the board is mistaken. Yeah, so when we come to Kiambu, as you come to Kiambu, you can see we have quite a few ladies. Number 2, number 3, Zainab, number 4, Alice, 5, Nduta. Yes, and those are the facilities we've given. Kiambu gets 16 slots. So we actually have close to like 10 names that are blank there. Dr. Njoroge Muho is the gentleman many people call Chokes. And we were proposing we leave those other slots to be, I can see Chokes walking in. You'll notice the names we mentioned here, most of those people would be here at such a meeting. That's where we are picking them from. These are not people who we've decided to just handpick. They're the people who really work closely with the union. So you can see Chokes all the way from Nairobi technically, but he works for Kiambu, would come to such a meeting in Kagio in the middle of rain. So those are the people who, if there's a plane to Mombasa, they should be the first person, at least out of fairness. So these were the names for Kiambu. These are the names we thought would work. We are leaving the 10 other slots. This list is not correct because I know there are other people on this list, but we'll add them. Because on my page, for example, I have others, but let's just work with what's on the table. Yeah. Then Jomo Kenyatta usually gets 3 slots. The 2 gentlemen sat next to each other, Dr. Linus Wafula, Dr. list. It's a wrong list. And Dr. Matthias Sakech. So we have 1 slot there. Then finally, Mwai Kibaki should get 3 slots. Where's Daktari? Yes. Josephat Mwangi is a person we felt who's helping us recruit doctors in Mwai Kibaki. Then we leave the other 2 slots. So the overall breakdown is, out of 36 names, I've presented 5, 6, 15, 17. I've presented 36 minus 17, whatever that number is. Yeah? Because there are 2 blank slots for Nyeri, 3 for Murang'a, almost 10 for Kiambu, 2 for Mwai Kibaki, and 1 for JKUAT. I think with that, if there's any recommendation from the floor, someone who would want to be added, the good thing of being at such a meeting, you can actually raise your hand and say, yeah, actually, there's a slot in my county.
The slots open, in short.
Yeah. So if that's, we can adjust the list, then you'll leave the rest to us. Yes. Ile list iko pale is wrong.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Ruth from Thika Level 5 and MO. I would request to be added for the people from Kiambu.
Ruth who?
Chege.
Ruth Chege.
Afternoon. Dr. Kuria, Nixon, Kandara.
That's a good point. Actually, if all the other hospitals are in the south and in the north, those are the things we actually look at. So we've noted your name. Dr. Munga has proposed. I just need a seconder. I can see the people going are the ones seconding and proposing. Dr. Mutis. Dr. Mary. So with that session is done. I want to thank everybody. I think we've come to the end of our AGM. I'll hand over the microphone to Dr. Alice Minor Thank you so much for your time, your patience, and being with us.
So, asanteni sana. I am greatly delighted that we all sat through this and were able to pass and move our union forward. Asanteni. Doc, I would reiterate what Dr. said, that sometimes we just hear you on the news and they have cut your speech into a 2-second thing. But when we hear you this way, it makes a very big difference for every member. Asante. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for everyone who was able to come in today. Thank you to our partners, all of you that have been able to stand here and those that have not. We hope that we'll get to interact with you over lunch hour. We have a bit of time now. So what we'll move forward to, we are going to have some photos. We want to have them outside, but because of the rain, we're going to do that right here. So I'd urge that we come forward, we take the photos. We might have a short media session, but Dr. will handle that. Then we go for lunch. Now, there are some meal vouchers that are going round. Rose right there has your lunch vouchers. So when you're leaving, you'll get one. But before you leave, she can't give you before you come for the photos. So maybe we come for the photos, and then she'll hand over your lunch voucher. And that's it for today. Asanteni sana. Could we close with a word of prayer? Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to be able to have this AGM for this year. You have led us well, you have held us, and you have allowed us to have an engaging and a productive time. As we all leave, we pray for journey, mercies to wherever we are going, to our homes or wherever other engagements we have. We pray that you go with us and keep each and every one of us and our loved ones well. For this we pray in Jesus' name. All right, group photo. You know, the sooner we do this, the sooner we go for lunch, the faster we move.